hands, because Mr. Nathan Prescott is going to get to talk about one of the two things he loves most, which is Orruks.
Yeah.
The other being his kids.
No, fuck those guys.
Drinking Tristan's in the house. Vangelis, how you doing? Inex, the Kitsune, I love the Orruk books. Yes, so that is going to be what we're talking about today. I'm going to quickly touch on what happened at the Hero Phase Irish GT in the news section at the start, if that's okay. And we do have some actual news as well. And we're still also reeling from the double book release. There's still loads to say about Free Cities.
Yeah.
But today we're going to concentrate on the Orruk book. And I was lucky enough also on Friday, still not up as a podcast, but it will be going up later as a podcast tomorrow. I got to talk to Leo Ratunen, who's been doing quite well with Ironjawz.
Yes, yeah.
And he had a really unique look at Ironjawz, specifically part of this book. So I'm looking forward to recovering that with you and seeing what you think. Because definitely when you and Vince had a conversation when the new General's Handbook came out, it was different, and I loved that. And then I'm also excited about talking about Bone Splitters, because if you can't listen, there's two ways really that you can play Warhammer. You can do it in armor, yeah, or you can do it fully naked. Games Workshop seems to only have one of those two choices, yeah. Naked dwarves, naked witch elves, yeah, naked orcs. Can't wait for the naked human element of the Mortal Realms. But I'm excited to hear what you got to say. First off, I'm going to ask you how you are. Oh, God. Also, our show host, our Monday night show host, Jet the Dog, is here. I don't think he's got long left in the world, but he's still here this week. Can we get... there he is. Nathan, how's he doing?
He's doing good. He's growing a very special friend.
He's got a little lump on his back, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's nearly the same size as him now.
Oh, good. All right, well, are we going to do some... Because obviously most people know that you're from Zimbabwe, but just in case they don't, we're going to do some like witch doctor shit? Because conventional medicine has said that there's no hope. So at this point, I feel like we need to Hail Mary pass it, do a dance around a fire, like do some chakra stuff. What do you reckon?
Yeah, we can make a little dog doll and try some voodoo on him.
Jet, how do you feel about that? He seems fine. Okay, good. I'm going to say hello to everyone in the chat. Azrak, thanks for being here. I thought this was going to be the gyrocopter show. We will talk about that in a moment because I am thrilled. Little Chris, Chris Jr., or just as he's now known, Cavesy. Cavesy's in the chat. Nicholas, I'm live. I hope you're well. OJ, oh my God, I love Owen Jackson so much. He's in the chat. Necrolepsy, thanks for subscribing for 2 months. 8-Bit Jesus, my gut feeling is it's a solid release for the Ironjawz. Awesome models. Agreed. Vangelis, you can still war stack in Big War since they're allowed all Orruks, and the War Boss is the ability into the FAQ. Yeah, thank you very much. We will talk about that later. Reflex Dog Training Painting has done a sad face. Everyone's happy. Everyone's doing the jet emoji in the chat. That's right. Yeah. And OJ says, Leo the Iceman is a ball and looking forward to his thoughts on the Ironjawz. Me too.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
Yeah.
So what was that? So you've done like an interview thing and you're going to post it as a podcast, or?
Yeah, well, so Leo's one of those like under the radar gamers, right? Like, I've been lucky enough to again, being able to do this every week and talk about it and do it professionally. Like when I go away the weekends, I like Pete Pratt's in the chat. I actually got to watch Pete play for the very first time I ever got to watch him play. I also, Clemens, who ended up winning the Irish GT that occurred this weekend, I'll talk about this in a minute. He's from Germany. I never got to see him play as well. And I've never got to see Leo play. But from everyone who I rate, like Colin Cochrane says he's great. Benjamin Savas says he's great. OJ says he's great. There's just a bunch of Warhammer people who are just to say he's a great gamer. So I wanted to hear what he said. And let me tell you, that guy thinks about things in a real unique way, which is awesome. So it's going to be a podcast.
Cool.
Yeah. I think you'll enjoy it as well. Yeah. Just if you want, I'll edit it I can just edit out my audio, so you can just listen to his if you want, because I don't wind you up. Hypno Kraken, thanks for donating 300 bits for more like Orruk poop clans. Nathan, how do you feel about that?
No. No, I reckon they're pretty good.
Okay, all right.
I reckon they're going to be fun.
Darren, hi. Can't have a TV. Darren, how you doing? Came for the dog, stayed for the jet icon. Absolutely. Tough lucky, oof. I also saw Danger Mouse, hoping Gorgrunters are legit. They are. Gitley, hello, K-Dread. Hi, Rob and Nathan and Jet. All right, nice. We're all here. Nathan, how have you been? I haven't seen your weekend, which is a long time for us. Yeah. What's going on?
Yeah, been good. Keeping busy. That's about it, really.
Play any Warhammer?
I've not had yet again failed on that front, but hopefully get a game in or a couple of games this week.
Have you got one? Should we do? Do you want to do one after the show?
Yeah.
Can I just put some proxy models down? And as one of the obviously original Hello Heart players of the world, I would like to formally start playing. Me, obviously, it's always been me, Adam Kunis, and Pete Humpage as the three amigos of Hello Heart, and they'll back me up on that. I'd like to start putting my models down and specifically proxy 12 gyrocopters, because those things are amazing. Diadrin, thank you for subscribing for 13 months. That's very Skaven of you. And then is using Ironjawz like AOS hard mode, said someone once. It was, but it's not anymore, is it?
No, I don't think it's that bad. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So you didn't get any Warhammer?
No.
Okay. I did.
Did you?
I played 2 games of Warhammer against the Greeks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got to play George and George, respectively. Beast of Chaos, who, if you watched the Warhammer live stream, poor you. But if you did, you were able to see him play rounds 5 and 6 against KZ, and eventually against Soft Hands. His name is James Tinsdale. And he did really well with his Beast of Chaos. Played George with his Eels. 27 Eels. I got my Chaos Dwarves out. I had a little ditty with the Chaos Dwarves because in Greece no one plays with their Chaos Dwarves, so it was nice for them. And honestly, I took the Untamed Beasts.
Not nice for anybody.
It's not nice for anyone, but I took the Untamed Beasts, and so that's the Warcry warband I've been talking about for a while. Oh, Serbator, how you doing? 21 months for the boys. Oh my god, I want to see Chris soon. And they were great because I don't have to trade anymore. I traditionally had to trade a unit in the center. Let's pick focal points as an objective. I always had to put something in the center. And normally it was like 100-point, 5-glaive unit. But now I just throw a unit of Untamed Beast forward, score a point, then he killed him, then I put another unit of Untamed Beast there. So, eventually they had to, put something there to go grab them. But really interesting games. Me and George, Beast of Chaos George, didn't get to finish, unfortunately. But he played real well, real conservative game. We traded off Bestigor versus Kadai. My Kadai beat up 20 eels. They got hit by attack eels. They got attacked by defense eels. The whole bunch, they got walloped. But there was 3 of them left at the end, and they'd fought off every eel. On the board, and also the king, the Achillean king. So pretty great game.
Yeah.
Really, really fun. But the key bit, or the bit that I wanted to with, was the those scouting units, and they were just phenomenal. Yeah, big fan.
So you'll like the Bone Splitters then?
Huh?
You'll like the Bone Splitters then?
Have they got scouts?
Yeah, half the army can scout.
Fuck. Okay, I don't like that at all. Is Jet alive? Yeah, he's literally not moving. He's totally alive. He's just stunned to be on the TV. And also, Refos, thanks for subscribing for 9 months. Dajin says, could someone link me the mini wargaming double turn reaction video? I can't remember who did it. Just don't watch it. It's just bad for your health, personally. And wargaming ad, I hate it when you don't get to finish. Agreed. Right. I had a great couple of games of Warhammer, and then obviously I was at the Irish. Sorry, let me get this right. The Hero Phase Irish GT.
Yeah.
In the Republic of Ireland, hosted by the Hero Phase 2019. We did all the live coverage of 4 games. The first game, I couldn't get all the technology to work, so I was a little bit stressed by that. I was upset. But then we had 4 great games, and I encourage everyone to go and watch them. Mick did all the commentary with me over the weekend, and Nathan was our table boss. And both of those were brilliant. I'm trying not to sneeze.
Just go for it.
But both of those guys were brilliant. Mick did really well. Nathan did the table bossing really well. The table bossing has got way more complicated than it ever was. So now there's a bunch of information to update. Some of you may have seen that. There's more overlays. There's world buffs that are up. So if Catechism Murder gets cast, you'll see that in the sidebar. So big shout out to Tom Wallace, who did our overlay and made all that integrate. So it's the first run out of it over the weekend. That was really fun. We got a little overlay, which I didn't think would be that important, but it's just if you play on a Roman battle board and you split the board up into 6 squares.
Yeah.
we just did that as lines. But honestly, like as it got like later on, we were like, I wonder if that's within 18 inches. Just put the grid up for like a minute to start doing some measuring with the top down. Just phenomenal. Like really, like I didn't think that would be as useful as it was, but it was really good. And another one where we had an overlay of all the like the mystical effects of the scenery.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And that was really cool too, because it was just like, because we've traditionally, and you've done it with me before, we've traditionally kind of been like, oh, I wonder what that terrain is. But now in the kind of setup process, we set that up, and then as commentators, we've got access to that information.
Yeah.
But the table boss has to do a lot of work, but they don't get a lot of love because they're not obviously on the screen. So big shout out to Nathan for doing that. I got to hang out with Dave Chin, and then all of the guys in Ireland and the Nordies. That's what you say, by the way. I'm now Irish, effectively. Thanks, 8-Bit Jesus. He was impressed with it. Let's not forget, and Captain Andrew says it was good coverage. Good. Well, that's what we're aiming for. And we're aiming for even better coverage. Next time, not next weekend, the weekend after, me and Nathan, and Mr. Benjamin Sava, I think, if I message him, will be at the Justice Series GT in Liverpool, run by the Just Play guys. So Nathan Prescott on the mic. You looking forward to doing some commentary again?
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
No, it's going to be top secret stuff.
There you go.
It's going to be good to see some games.
Yeah, it is going to be good.
Hang out with the dudes.
Yeah, it's going to be real fun. And also it'll be the first time we see Free Cities in competitive action, right?
Oh, yeah. I think they'll...
And Orruk Warclans.
Orruk Warclans, yeah. I think they should mix things up a bit. Yeah.
Yeah? OJ will be there if you have me. Yeah, man. Yes, done. Thanks. This is how I recruit. Yeah, this is way better. It's much easier. Rob said I was a better co-host than Nathan or Speckles, says Mick Wendell in the chat.
It's not wrong, I'm sure.
Nathan, block him on Twitter, please. Right. So, yeah, the weekend, my quick review, it was held in Dublin. It was run by the Hero Phase guys, so it's the biggest Age of Sigmar event that they've had so far. Loads of Northern Irish guys came down. A bunch of guys flew from Germany. It was eventually won by a German player, Clemens, a lovely bloke. I got to hang out with him on Sunday night. Real nice. His wife was watching him win, which I thought was the sweetest thing. Also, one of the little red LEDs was flashing against one of the rats with a banner, Disco Rat, and I now have got Disco Rat. He's going to go in the cupboard as a kind of like a prize, and I thought that was really sweet of Clemens. I know it's just a clan rat with a banner, so replaceable in half a heartbeat, but still appreciate loads. So that was cool. So Clemens won it with Skaven, with 2 lots of 40 monks, which are boring as fuck to watch roll dice, like just boring to watch roll dice. But he was great, and his games were great, and he also had 9 Jezzails, which was kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
But we unfortunately seen him win. But we saw Pete Pratt, wonderful guy, end up losing with his destruction with his Gloomspite Gits, and he had 6 Troggoths in there as well.
Oh, nice.
And he won 4 games, nearly won his 5th game. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, the Troggoths are great. Just either the Rock Guts or the Fellwaters. I still rate the Fellwaters over the 2, but you pay a little bit more for them. But
Yeah, I think also, I also think what was great about that event. So the hotel that it was in was lovely, like really, really opulent, like fancy as hell. To be honest, I was like, oh no, I probably should get myself out of here. Too fancy for me. But it was real nice. The atmosphere was amazing.
Did you have a mixed Irish grill?
I did not have a mixed Irish grill. Don't know what one of those is.
Mashed potato, chips.
I was mainly
boiled potatoes, roast potatoes.
I was very tired on the Saturday, and I was mainly trying to hide from Richie and Dean. Yeah. Hi Moon Tyranny, by the way, and also hi El Capitan WS10. He's like Trugs for the win. Trugs down for the win. But yeah, like it was an amazing atmosphere, and the thing my big takeaway actually was the games were all great, scenery was great, tables were great. Like Mick did a great job, Nathan did a great job. Dave Chin has like really done some serious work on the painting competition. Like he's taken a photo of every entry in a professional light box. He's going to go photo edit it and put it up. So I think that's like a really nice addition that I would like to see all tournaments do. Like if you're going to have a painting competition, like have some way to display them nicely. Do you know what I mean? And put them up online. And I thought it was like a really small addition that I thought was really, really nice. So that was a really cool element. Everyone there was great. But my big takeaway was the community aspect of it, because there was 3 dad-son combos at the event.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Chris Cave Jr., Chris Cave Senior. It was Colin Cochran and Ben, his son, and then there was please help me out in the chat. But I thought that was wicked.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was real swell. So yeah, it was good. Any questions? Toilets were great.
Was Donal there with his dad?
Donal was not there with his dad, unfortunately. Did he say Nate was the name of the kid? Anyway, so that was really cool. But if they'll have me back next year, I'd love to go.
Hey.
And also some of the guys are just hilarious.
Yeah, the Irish are a particularly funny bunch of people, aren't they?
They are a particularly funny bunch. Like I don't think I've had as much fun since maybe the Nashville guys are real fun. Canadian guys are real fun, and they're all different, but like just the same. And that was my big takeaway. I was having dinner with Sir Flukes a lot. Clemens. So Sir Flukes is from Scotland. Clemens is from Germany. There's it was Mick and Chin and me. I'm an English fella, and it was two Republic of Ireland guys. But what I meant for a minute, I know this is going to sound
an Englishman and a Scotsman
yeah,
and
it sounded
a German
like
walking to a bar.
Yeah, it sounded like a fucking joke, right? They've all just played Warhammer.
And they play Warhammer.
And my takeaway was just again how cohesive like we are as a community, and how like I know this is real soft, and I'm sorry, but it is real sweet. Like you got all these people who no, it is. I know that's lame, but it's just wicked. Like you see, and all these guys are getting on. They're like having jokes with each other. They've got their like little in jokes, and to go and see them all like mash it together, and the Northern Irish guys and the Irish guys giving each other shit, like, and the Germans like getting involved as well, which is great because traditionally they don't have a sense of humor, but they did. They were like like not a 10, like a 6. Glad you had a good weekend. Rob sounded awesome. Thank you very much, Nick from WS10. But anyway, it was lovely, and I thought that was my big takeaway. Like the games were great. It was a really well run event, so that's good. But what the big takeaway for me is the community was fantastic, and I would go and wargame in Ireland particularly. There was a turtle on stream smashing face. Yeah, those brothers are just hilarious. Yeah, they're just. The whole group of wargamers is just great fun. Like Big Paul Real was there, like just being great, and made it to day 2. Well, I'm proud of him. So proud of him. It's just great. Anyway, I had a great time, and I need to shut up now because. And it was won by Skaven, which caused a big outing for Skaven. There weren't many Slanesh, which I thought was interesting. And I'm super conscious of the last 2 tournaments we've had. We've actually had quite a lot of Skaven on stream. So the next event we go to, I'm going to try very hard to avoid that if possible. And Idneth as well. We can put a lot of Idneth on there, but they're just a really fascinating army to watch on the tabletop, I think. I don't know what to say. And also a big shout out to Cavesy, who got his 2nd place after being robbed at the Warhammer GT. I'll just say it like that. It's an easy way of saying it instead of anything else. Day 2 Paul. Right, okay. So that was my weekend, and it was great fun. Everyone was super kind. Mick put me up in his house for a couple of days. Got to meet his wife, his kids, dogs.
His sack of potatoes.
Hi, Hookapin. Tinking Tristan, I love you. How you doing? Worried things would get too sassy and sexy. So if you get the opportunity to go to any of either the Northern Irish or the Irish events, please do. It's totally worth the trip. I know that the Germans were like, we're coming back next year. And they met on a WhatsApp group as well, like Mick and the German fellas. And I thought that was wicked, because those WhatsApp groups are normally great once one person has left. One specific person has left. And also, if anyone knows how to block one specific person in a WhatsApp group, just one, only one from all WhatsApp groups, please let me know. I really need to know. Otherwise, I'm going to have to make my own WhatsApp groups. Right. No one does want to watch Monk Combat Faces Pete Pratt at all. Nathan.
Yeah.
There's some news about actual Warhammer. I mean, actual Warhammer happened to the weekend as well.
Go on
then. So today, it looks like, because they normally start teasing us with new shit when there's going to be a new release, and I am hype as hell about the Oligarchy Bone Ticklers.
Oh, yes.
Oh, lordy. Yeah, because it seems like that, like, narratively, and obviously you can get great narrative from Black Library, everyone who works as a babe. Narratively, it seems like that they've like because Nagash's the realm of death has always seemed like this kind of like non like it's quite a magical place. Yeah, just
Yeah,
like,
it's quite interesting the way it's described, like, because it's like loads of realms within the realm where there are all the different afterlives of all the different beliefs and stuff. It's quite cool. Yeah.
yeah. Whereas they've started for the omitting Bukekis, they have started. Damn it. They've started to really describe like a legion, or it sounds like a legion. Like, you know, there's like they've got generals, and then they've got like arch generals, and they're waging these giant wars, and it just seems very like regimented, a lot more so than I personally have pictured the forces of death before.
Okay.
Like, I understand Great Wars, like they've described that quite well, and they've described kind of like strongholds of order. They've obviously described chaos quite well, but I don't think they've ever described, or I haven't narratively picked on the hooks of death. I've always just like, you're in the realm of death, you're like, oh, don't avoid the graveyards. It's a bit creepy over there, but it does seem like a really strong narrative context to this army, and that's quite exciting for me. I quite like the idea of there being that kind of undead legion over the magic element, so like a combat force. So that's cool. And so they've shown today the Lords of the Ossiarch Bonereapers have been revealed, and then the this is going to be a nightmare for live streaming, so we need some nicknames. But the Orpheon Catacross,
Cool.
okay, is an incomparable strategic genius, capable of conducting warfare across battle lines that stretch across nations and even the mortal realms themselves. I think it was the term nations which kind of like, that was an evocative image. His will on the ground is enforced by his brutal liege Cavoli. So the guy who we saw who was on his throne, Skirces, whatever his name is, from 300, that guy, he now has got these kind of mounted lords, and they're kind of like half samurai, half bone daddies, and they look great. But the liege Cavoli, am I saying that right? Liege Cavaloy? Liege Savaloy? I don't know. But they're warrior monarchs, again, their own kings, charged with slaying those who dare not pay the tithe. So there's this awesome new model that they've shown. So there's clearly like a non-named character version, and then they've shown us a named character version who's called Patruzantos. Again, nightmare. But he was Catacross's most trusted general in life, once a professional assassin. I did get a bit confused by that. Assassins and generals they work quite differently.
Yeah, it's not normally a job mix sort of thing, a job share thing that most generals do.
No, it's not like you don't really develop the skill sets assassinating in to become a general, but sure. But yeah, they're great. Oh, Scrivo, love you. How you doing? And also Lofthammer. What's cool about that particular, well, those models is they look a lot like Dracoths, specifically Vander's Hammer Hand. They look like or the Lord Arcanum on Griff Charger. So the model kind of like sculpt is kind of very similar, which is nice. I wonder, like, it's obviously intentional, but I wonder why. You got any thoughts?
No, I don't know. Sounds like he's going to be pretty good though, with the command abilities and stuff.
Yes.
Probably gets 1,000 command points of turn. So he can command across nations.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, he's going to need a load, right? If you run an entire empire, more than one command point.
Yeah, exactly.
Captain Andrew says they parody Lords on Dracoth so good, and they're looking forward to Rob nailing those names for years to come. I might do a whole stream where you guys could just quiz me, like show a picture, and I'll be like, oh, I've already forgotten. Let's try one more time. Patruzantos. I hope he's rubbish in the game. Great model, but I hope he's rubbish so we never see him, so I don't have to do commentary. And then what's the other fella called? Orpheon Catacross, so a liege Cavoli.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be
I
great.
can't wait.
Red Sandy, thank you for subscribing for 9 months from Mork and Mindy. Also, people asking where Speckles is. He's actually trying to earn enough money so that he can buy himself some Ossiarch Bonereapers. And as most of you know, Speckles' main job is being a support worker for NHS people, or for people who come out of care. So he's like an angel. His heart is that of a golden lion. But his side job is he actually, and most people don't know this. Hold on. I can't wait to tell people, is he's a children's entertainer at the weekends. Yeah. What he does is he just makes these really kind of great, grandiose images that entertain children for days. And that's his side job. And it's just...
And his heart was like a golden lion.
like a golden lion.
Which helps with the lighting.
Yeah, he does. What does the Twitch chat think of the... so he's not here. Also, someone slashed his tyres, which is the real news. So that's sad.
Really?
Huh?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yesterday. What does everyone else in the Twitch chat think of the Bone Daddies? Did you see the models, and what did you think of them?
I did not see the models.
Nathan!
And so I think nothing of them, except that the bone splitters are bound to look forward to meeting these guys.
Because they can split their bones.
So I can take all those bones back.
Hitler Kraken says I love the centerpiece model. I like the guy on the throne. But what I'm excited about with this release is if you cycle back and go and listen. So I'm staying on message for myself. Is that I really like the knights. They've showed off quite a few of the models. I'm not too bothered about the multi-armed guys. I like the guys on foot. They're fine. They're okay if I have to take them as battle line. But the knights I was particularly excited by. And I'm really hoping there's some synergy between the knights... the mounted characters and those knights, because that'd be radical. I'd be well up for that. But I'm never getting the monster.
What's that?
Have you not seen the blood monster with the tentacle dick, and he's got a face on his dick?
Oh no,
Nathan, you need to catch up. It's called the Harvester. No, anyway, yeah. Okay, fine. If you don't see it. Anyway, that's the big news. Are you excited about the Bone Daddies, or are you excited about killing the Bone Daddies?
Killing the Bone Daddies.
Deal. All right. I think that Undead Stormcast says Kitsune. I'm just going to say that. 8-Bit Jesus says, I love the models, but not enough to go out and buy them on launch day. I'll get a small force next year. I think that's a good shout. Moonturner says, I love them. I want them as an army if they're really good and elite-ish. They look fairly elite.
Yeah, they do. Especially if they got...
Tomb King Tristan says, they're stupid and ugly and I hate them. Which is fair. And then Nick says, loving the Bone Daddies. Helps I have 12 more guests to start with. I've got a bunch of more guests as well. Anyway... and then the main dude looks like Mumra. He does. Lose the faces and go full skeleton, and they're great. Says Refos. Born looking, but death can eat.
Loads of them have got big smiles, haven't they?
They have all got big smiles. What do you think of that?
So obviously, they're all bone constructs, aren't they? So the guy that's constructing them has obviously got a Joker fetish or something like that, and just giving them all.
Oh, you excited about the new film?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go watch that.
Oh, the Irish chin in the house. Harvester's the special part of hell for those people that skip leg day, because it's all top. It's all top half. The Harvesters, they look really weird. And Trading Post 91 says, Bone Reapers are intentional, the counterpart of Stormcast. Stormcast don't show mimic. Bone Reapers are grinning. Stormcast are supreme souls. Bone Reapers are 4 souls in one body. Trading Post 91. It's very nice of you. Thank you to turn up. And I will be expecting some free Games Workshop items from you. You're clearly one of the background writers. He's not, obviously. That's my joke. He just seems very well informed, which I really like. It's a great opinion.
I heard a podcast the other day they were talking about. It was funny as fuck because they were saying, you know how the catapult thing has got, so it's a bone construct thing.
Yeah.
So they've constructed this catapult with souls and stuff, and then they've had to construct crew to man the catapult instead of just making it a fucking
a machine that throws itself. That's really clever.
and then they started laying into like the cavalry as well, and so why bother having the dude separate from the horse? Just make it all. Seeing as you're making it from scratch and it's just a mounted thing. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
yeah. Well, I don't know why they didn't not thought it all the way through, have they? I don't think they thought through the Harvester model either, but it's fine. Oh, I'm excited about the narrative specifically. Yeah. I genuinely am, and I hope the Knights are good because that could be quite an elite force to put on the table. Could be quite fun, but my mind, like lots of people's, is whirring whirring with free cities. And on that point, as we move on, before we get into talking about Orruk Warclans, I just need to talk about something that I know has been a big thing for you for many years, and I'm very excited today. Today I saw a man who I love a bunch called Ewan. It's pretty strong to call him a man, but a grown-up boy. And he was playing his Free City Tempest Eye army with 12 gyrocopters, and it was the coolest thing I've ever seen. Little squadrons of 3. It's been, you and me have talked about gyrocopters for a long time, and how we've always wanted there to be little squadrons and stuff, and it looks amazing. And we already know that they're good. Well, they were good, but they're now 180 points for 3, which is 4 wounds with a 4-up save each. So that's 12 wounds with a 4-up save for 180 points. They could, if all 12 of them run across a model, they'll do like on average some dumb amount of mortal wounds, like 20, 24 mortal wounds once per battle, because they all get to drop a bomb.
Those guys,
the gyrocopters. And then they've got the clatter guns, which just delete hordes. Not clatter guns, sorry, the steam guns, which just delete hordes. Which are just, and I just don't know how people are not going to put... So looking at my Tzeentch army, I'm like, okay, I've got to put the Gaunt Summoner in to deal with hordes, which I saw Cavesy do so well this weekend. Chris Caves Jr. But these guys, I'm just like, 180 points, put them and they move 16 inches. Unreal. And I know you have a bunch of them. Are you excited? Are you going to run that?
I've got gyro bombers, not gyrocopters.
You've got no gyrocopters?
No, mine are all gyro bombers. I've got 3 gyro bombers, red one, green one, and a yellow one.
You got any gyrocopters?
No.
Have you got any unbuilt?
I've got some bits and bobs kicking about somewhere. Ooh. I'll have to root them up and have a look, see. But I like the bombers anyway, so I'm happy with my red helicopter.
But the reason it was I'm to mention it before we go on is I genuinely think that they could change the shape of the game. They are quite financially expensive, so we might not see it on tabletop. Not that stopped a lot of people playing, but the concept of to put 6 down is going to cost you 360 points. Yes, 360 points, and that gives you 2 movement 16 units, which if both of them go into a horde, they're just going to delete a horde, in my opinion, or they're going to whittle it down enough. But what they could do is whittle down 2 hordes pretty well. And
3 of them shooting into a horde will do a lot of damage.
They're on 4s. So that could be a bit swingy, but it could be like 60, 70 attacks, 3s, 4s, rend 1 damage into a horde, which is pretty survivable. But even a Witch Elf horde, like you send in the 2 packs of 3 and just clatter them, and they'll make a ton of saves like they do. But I just think you aren't giving up a lot of points in trade, Daniel. You aren't giving up a lot of points in trade, and I just think it's sat behind armies.
Cheap.
They're
so
cheaper
cheap than they were before.
Yeah.
So
there is so much you can scratch build. I think 40 says I did go on someone and change those for it's cool. Shame I'm a bad player. When I'm Warhammer on Friday, I have to be so strong not to buy all the city stuff. Yeah, Scrivo, why are you here? Is Scrivo here? I can't wait to see him. No, he's there. I believe in you, Scrivo. Only the faithful. Says Captain Andrew. But so, do you think that does that scare you? The concept, as I've described that, thinking about armies.
I mean, there's quite a few things out there at the moment that are pretty scary for hordes. There's a few spells, so obviously the Gaunt Summoner, but there's quite a few other people have got spells similar to that. The Corruptor, Chaos have got a few options there. There's a new spell in the cities as well, which does the same sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, there are ways to deal with hordes, just like there seem to be ways to deal with everything, so it's pretty cool.
Lofthammer's just offered to buy you some gyrocopters, Nathan. Some gyrocopters to fly around the mortal realms. Honestly, when I saw it today, I have a picture, and it's just... and also, if you guys want to join the Discord, !Discord, and you can see... anyway, I think that they could change the shape of the game. There's been lots of things we've been talking about. Obviously, spellcasting from Halahar, the Living City lists, the Greywater Fastest list. There's loads of people kicking around. It's probably the most complicated book, but I just wanted to talk about that before we kicked off with this because
they're a great unit, the gyrocopters.
And they don't need any buffs. They just do their job.
Yeah.
They're just 100. If you just want to be sensible and just spend 180 points on 3, you just like, cool. They're in my list. They'll deal with 1 horde for me, and they'll deal with 40 plague monks. They'll deal with plague monks. They'll deal with loads of stuff. But if you wanted to go all the way in and get the apologies, everyone at home.
Oi.
Jet's just decided to wake up now. Right, okay. That's all I've got to say about that. Yeah, cool. Nath, what do you think? Jet senses the shift in the meta. That's no gyrocopters near me. So should we talk the Orruk Warclans?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do that, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you're here for. That's Jet does not like gyrocopters. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I hope you're all having a great day as well. Woke up my dog. She is confused, says Oni Macaroni. And then also OJ says Jet obviously thinks gyro bombers are better.
Yes, I agree, Jet.
But you can also take gyro bombers as well as the gyrocopters. You can take a helicopter army.
Yeah. Well, I think you're still limited. Are they still not artillery?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. I thought they're limited. You can only take 4.
Oh, they might still be artillery. If they are, then you can only have
4 units.
4 units, but even 4 units, 360. So you'd be talking 720 points for the 12 gyrocopters. It's probably too many points. Probably 3 to 6 is the sweet spot.
Yeah. 1 or 2 units.
But it's like just
because they're very mobile as well. I mean, the gyrocopters are faster. They've got less wounds, but they're faster, and they've got they've got access to the steam gun, which is quite a useful thing against hordes.
Yeah, definitely. And I think also taking out those backfield objectives, like taking out those little like infiltrating squads, I'm just about them, and I think that they're also going to be really great for holding up like little screens and lines at certain points.
Well, I used to play with the gyro bombers quite often, and I loved using them anyway, and I'll using them definitely.
Okay, all right, there we go.
Because they're better now.
They are better. They are better. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk greenskins. I'm very excited about this because I've only read little elements of it. So Nate's going to take me through it.
So if we just run through the allegiance abilities.
Please, I'm ready for it. Because I'm eager for battle.
Yeah. Wonder what that is from. So if we run through the Ironjawz allegiance abilities first.
Yes, please, boss.
Yeah. So Ironjawz armies can... you can split them into Bloodtooth's choppers or Iron Sons.
So in this book, there's 3 types of armies, isn't there? Yep. There's Ironjawz, there's the Great War, and then there is Bone Splitters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then within Ironjawz, you've got 3 sort of clans that you can take. So they're Bloodtooth's choppers and Iron Sons.
Do you not recognise them as real clans? Are they like pretender clans to the Nathan Prescott clan?
I don't know. I used to run Bloodtooth loads. But that used to be a battalion, like one of the overarching type battalions.
Yeah, like a narrative one.
Yeah, but more like how the Sylvaneth households used to run, because they were, and then you could put smaller battalions inside them.
When Sylvaneth was a good army.
It's a better army.
It's a worse army now.
So, anyway, but the general allegiance abilities are: you have eager for battle, like you said, +1 to charge.
That's huge.
Can't be sniffed at.
No, I actually think that's way more important. Like, because if you can get within 3 inches, it's a guaranteed charge.
Yeah.
Like, how many battle plans have been laid to ruin by the double 1 charge? Yeah. So I actually think it's a big deal.
Well, and it's great for teleporting, which they've got access to as well. So it means 7-inch charge.
Okay.
Really good on Ardboy units, because they have their musician gives them +2 to charge, so they're +3 to charge off the bat
on hard boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's really good. Yeah.
So if they teleport in, they've basically got a 6-inch charge if it's 9 away. But you can make that smaller because of the next rule, which is called Mad as Hell. Now, this is such good rule. At the end of any phase where you've taken any wounds or mortal wounds on a unit, and it's more than 9 from the enemy units, they can move D6. So
I don't like that at all.
it's great. So you shoot them or you magic them and they'll start creeping up on you. And sometimes that creeping might not be very slow. So,
I really like the idea of like a whole Greasekids army on tiptoes, just like, we're going to go get him. Quiet. Yeah, let's go get him. Okay.
So, but the great thing is that it's any phase, so you can win them in your own phase, or if I mean, now Ironjawz are looking for deadly terrain. They'll just be, I want to take some wounds off of that deadly terrain.
Yeah.
Get those reroll ones, that's great, but that means remove D6 at the end of the phase. So if there's deadly terrain, you want to be taking those D3 mortal wounds. Then you can hand a gawk them. Then they move the D6. So now they're even closer to... So these guys are like superb alpha strike. Like from across the board, they'll be into you. And you've just... If you're ever playing against Ironjawz, you just got to have loads of screens. Because at any point of the game, they'll just turn up and duff you up.
Okay. So they've got massive mobility and also broad presence, right? Like, well, it depends. If you go for lots of brutes, you've got board presence. You don't have board presence, but if you go for lots of hard boys, you'll have a lot of board presence. So that's quite good. Like
yeah, they're still a fairly elite army. Price per actual model is still fairly high, but yeah, you can get a fair amount of wounds on the board, and you can get quite.
But you can't hand a gawk and then move because you have to be 9 away.
Yeah, so you're 9 away. So it says outside of 9. So you're outside of 9.
Oh, and it's not D6 up to outside of 9.
No.
Ah, okay.
As long as you're outside of 9, when it's more than 9 from any enemy units, it moves D6. So if that takes it within 9, happy days.
I wonder if that'll get clarified. I wonder if it'll be like...
I don't think so. No. I think, I'm pretty sure that's the way it's meant to be.
Okay.
And...
No, I'm not against it. No, like good. I want Ironjawz.
Yeah.
I want listen. I love destruction players. Like they're the best, and I'd write them a letter, but they can't read.
Draw them a picture. That's great. But I mean, my only little thing with this. So if we look at the weird knob, he's got this rule where if there's units nearby, he can cast green puke for free. But unfortunately, that's at the end of the hero phase, so you can't green puke them.
And then make a
with
move.
That free... you could still green puke them with your normal spell, but you can't use that free spell before you've teleported them. So,
okay.
But if you're close enough and you just want that extra move, then you've got that green puke, so you can just do D3 on your own lads and send them up. But then it just means things like there's the luminary rod, which you can use.
Yeah, the guys in the chat just mentioned that. Yeah.
Where you can do damage on yourself and endless spells. So, it's maybe a good reason to take Ravanax and Ironjawz because it's got big moves, so you can hit your whole army. Then there's other ways to make your army move in the hero phase as well. Then they can move off, and then at the end of the hero phase, they get the extra D6, and then they move.
So what you're saying is it takes a bit of work,
unlike
Beasts of Chaos, where it's just I'm movement 19, but they're going to be straight across the board with +1 to charge or +3 to charge potentially.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's cool. And also, I just want to say a big shout out to Haywo. Thank you very much for subscribing for 15 months in a row. I also know Haywo's got he said he's got a big project on the own, a big video coming soon. So if you get the opportunity to subscribe to his YouTube channel, you should because he's a babe. Babe. I mean, he's no Nathan Prescott, but he's a pretty good looking fella.
There's I just think that Murder Hell thing is going to be, you're going to find more and more uses as...
Especially late game, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you go into a small unit, wipe it out, but it's fought you and then you've wiped it out, you've got that extra D6. Or if, some of them have got an impact hit type mechanic, so you could charge something, kill it, pile in 3, then move the D6 if you've taken damage, from another unit and stuff like that. So you could just be moving around at all sorts of random times in the game. So
baby. Ooh, okay, all right, yeah, no, that's good. No. That's good, especially like when you're having to make. There's already so much that happens in between in the priority turn when you've got endless spells moving around. Now with endless, with that Will that affect?
No, because so it's in a phase.
That's
I
great.
don't think that.
That's good,
there's
because
no
that would. Because that's like
Otherwise-
4D chess while traveling through time, which I don't want to deal with. All right, good. Okay, sweet. What else?
So yeah, so super happy with that rule. So your next one, so you've got another rule for free, and that one is called smashing and bashing, same as it ever was.
Yeah.
You wipe out a unit, you can then immediately activate another unit to attack. So this is just a great way of getting around always strikes last. So from like Slanesh and stuff like that, if they loci a unit, but then you've got another unit that's gone into some demonettes or a chariot or something, wipes out that unit, then it can just pick the loci unit and say, well, you can have a go now. It'll override the loci thing because it's applied after that. Pile in and kill that keeper before
it does anything.
before he has a chance to wriggle around.
Actually. But still. And yeah, all right, sweet. Smashing and bashing is actually really good, like it seems, and is really, really strong, especially with screens, because you put cheap screens up.
Yeah.
Right.
They just feed your smashing and bashing.
Yeah,
urges.
so like it's a great combo. I said this when I was talking to Leo. I actually think that they've done really well on like just honing the Ironjawz, like, because it's the third iteration of these kind of rules that we've seen.
Yeah.
There was the initial Ironjawz book release, and then we've seen some General's Handbooks updates, and then they finally got like, I feel like they've really got into the swing about what Ironjawz, about like some interesting mechanics that aren't just like dumb.
they're fairly unique mechanics as well.
Yeah.
To the army was pretty good. So yeah.
Okay.
So right, command abilities, Mighty Destroyers.
Good one.
It's just the best command ability on the planet.
What's
It's
it do?
great. So you can use the command ability in your hero phase.
Hawkeye, yeah, it does overcome the Locust from Slanesh, because the way it works is the most recent effect to have occurred takes precedent, and so you loci a unit at the beginning of the combat phase, you start initiating smashing and bashing. Once you've killed a unit, you can select another unit, which means you can select a unit that's been loci. Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So this command ability is in your hero phase. Pick a friendly Ironjawz unit wholly within 12 or wholly within 18 if it's a general of a hero. And then it can make a normal move if it's outside of 12 of the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
If it's within 12, it can charge unless it's within 3, in which case it can pile in and attack.
Okay.
So
In the hero phase.
in the hero phase.
Nice. So don't give Ironjawz don't go first against Ironjawz. Let them charge forward, hit your screens, yeah, and then try and get the double on into turn 2. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
That sucks.
You've got to have screens because they're going to be moving in the hero phase. They're going to be teleporting.
No, fuck you, Nathan. I'm just going to have the big things. You can fight the big things. You can hit them first, won't wipe them out, and then I'm going to hit you back. What are you going to do then, son?
Just wipe you out.
Shit. Okay, right.
So
You won't be able to hit me because I'll be flying because I'm a gyrocopter.
can jump really high. Ironjawz can. They'll be like
when
holding up
shields.
shields.
Like when they drive the car into the helicopter in action movies. Oh my god, this is like Fast and Furious, actually.
You
But
just see this pig jumping up, bashing the helicopter out the sky.
and all the Urruks are Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, sweet. Jason Statham, please, if someone can model Jason Statham as an Urruk, that'd be great. Or Vin Diesel.
So that's cool. Then, so now the wire has changed. The wire has become a command ability. And there's no stacking of the wire because it's once per battle.
Good.
So once per battle, at the start of the combat phase, you can declare you're going to do a wire if you've got a mega boss as your general. So it's quite restrictive. Roll the dice if it's, and then you add it to the number of units within 18 of your general. Not wholly within 18, yes. And you add those two together. If it's less than 11, they get +1 attack. If it's more than 11,
To all the Ironjawz units.
yeah, then it's +2 attacks.
I don't want that to happen, if that's all right. Okay, +1 attack.
Oh, but it used to be +7
17 attacks. Yeah. But this is more reliable as well, right?
Yeah. So it's going to happen no matter what, because it's going to be, you're always going to roll a number that's less than 11.
Yeah.
But if you happen to roll more than 11, so 12 or more, then you might get 2 attacks. So if you've got loads of... So there are a few builds which are MSU, loads of small units running around. So you could make it so you're pretty sure you're going to get the 12. But yeah, so it's an extra 2 attacks, pretty good.
That's great. Yeah.
Once per battle, whereas you can actually do... So the big war's got a different mechanic. The Bone Splitters have got a similar mechanic, but... Yeah.
This is Ironjawz only at the minute.
These are the Ironjawz. So command traits. So these are things that you can give to a mega boss. You've got Hulking Muscle-Bound Brute, which is like an extra set of impact hits. So if you're going to go for a mega boss to clear screens, so you could combine this with... So the Maw Crushers have got mount traits now. So there's one that improves their...
They have. And they've got cheaper, haven't they?
I don't think they have. I think they're about the same.
Oh, Godrek's got cheaper, sorry.
Yeah, you might have.
He's got cheaper and better. But anyway, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So, so there is a way where you combine this with the extra fat Maw Crusher. So he does better, whatever it's called, when they smash in bulk, or whatever it is, when he smashes into them. And then you can possibly clear little units if you want to clear screens. So if you want to try and trigger that where you build up a chain, then it's quite interesting to take that muscle-bound brute. The problem is with this, or I don't think it's a problem, but
hold on, we've had a motion in the chat which I need to, as the Age of Sigmar representative of this particular council, motion to call that mount trait extra thick 2Cs.
that one. That most curvaceous.
Yeah, the most curvaceous.
Of Maw Crushers, the extra thick one.
The booty bouncing Maw Crusher.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Yeah.
The one with the milkshake that brings all the boys to the yard.
All right, I'll take that. That's fine.
Extra thick.
So sorry.
So, yeah, the thing with these command traits, they're all interesting. And there's at least 3 or 4 of them which are pretty tempting. So you are going to be humming and hawing about choices with everything in the book, I think.
Oh, you think there's loads
of good stuff. Yeah. So the next one is Live to Fight. So you reroll wound rolls for the general and for the mount when they make a charge. So rerolling to wound is pretty good.
Really, really good. Really, really.
And it's for the mount as well. So rerolling not only the general, you get loads of attacks, but also the mount's attacks.
And that mount, all his milkshake will bring the boys to the war. Stole that off Heinrad. Love you, Heinrad. Great to see you. Skills. Yeah.
So yeah, it's not bad if you're making a fighty one.
So, no, not bad at all. I like this is the command traits, isn't it, at the minute?
Yeah.
We
so
haven't
again, you can combine that with an extra killy Maw Crusher, which does extra damage with its smashing fists and striking tail. Mm-hmm. So then, and you could combine that with like giving your mega boss on the back extra damage on his chopper, and then it's just making him a super dangerous fella in a fight.
Okay. All right. Which is good because they're now actual threats, right? They're actually the mega boss and Maw Crushers now actually.
Well, I think he was always a threat, but he used to go down pretty fast, whereas he's still a massive threat. Yeah.
He is. Mr. T says, "What's up with all the dancing, disco rat, funky fongoid, and now the twerking cabbage?" I don't know. The game designers seem to have just got into it recently. Maybe they've all just started taking up dance classes to deal with the stress of work.
Groove.
Yeah, they've hit the groove. They're just ready. The War Crushers, do have an extra wound. Sorry, Nate, you were saying after command traits, there is.
Right. So I think you've got to run through all these command traits because they're all pretty good.
Okay, cool.
So the next command trait is Brutish Cunning.
Yeah.
Once per battle round, so every battle round, the general can use a Mighty Destroyer's command ability without spending a command point.
Which is piling an attack if you're within 3 inches.
Yeah, or move in the hero phase, or charge in the hero phase.
Wow, that's really good.
So that normally costs you a command point.
Can you Mighty Destroyers in your opponent's hero phase?
No, because it's once at the start of... Where is it? Yeah, it says in your hero phase. Yeah.
Okay. Hawkeye reckons that's the best trait. So you're just saving on CP there.
Yeah, it's saving you a CP. So, it's probably the one that I'm most tempted by. But like I said, the other ones are very tempting. There's Ironclad.
But you've got the CP. Talking about CP usage. Sorry, I'm like just talking about CP usage in the army though. You've got access to the best ally in the world, right? Fungoid Cave Shaman. The Fungoid.
Yeah.
Because he gets on a 4+ gets a command point as well.
Yeah, I mean, so it's 50% of the time. So
But
it's
you're allying
not,
in also a wizard. It's
not
like
very
a bonus
reliable.
point. That's true. Unless you take 2.
Yeah, or unless you take. I mean, you
Or
could
5.
can also take the Bone Splitter one. He does the same thing now.
Oh, does he?
The Wargog Prophet.
Oh man, he's so cool looking as well.
Yeah.
Oh, like Azag the Cruel. Oh, nice. Is it Azag? Yeah, I
No,
think so.
Azag was riding the Wyvern.
Sad face. Okay.
You're thinking, oh, what the hell was his name?
The funky Fungoid.
Wargoz or something.
Wargogs.
Anyway, he's a Wargog Prophet now.
Yeah.
Then you've got Ironclad, +1 to save.
That's great. So a 2+ save Ball Crusher.
Yeah. Or a 2+ save Mega Boss on foot. So if you're going defensive, that's quite a tempting one.
So no Ironjawz players will take that.
I don't know. It's not. Yeah. It's not. I've never ever taken stuff like that, but there we go. Then you got Beastal Charisma, so you can use Inspiring Presence without spending a command point. So it's another command point saving one.
Yeah.
So depending on your army build, if you're going for that sort of thing where you want to try and grind the battle out, then maybe take that. But
it's so funny watching your reaction.
Not
You're
really. Most armies,
you're
they'd be like
every destruction player in the world. You're like, I mean, if you wanted to try and hold objectives, but like this one lets you attack again. Take this one. Yeah, go on.
And then the Mighty War, which replaces Prophet of the War, is when you do your War, you count units within 24, not within 18, and they are affected. So, yeah, if you're going to try and make the War a thing, that's possibly one. But I do think Brutish Cunning is probably the best one in that list. But I think it's hard to choose one and just say that's out and out the best one.
Yeah. I understand that. Like, I feel like all of these books, they've actually done a pretty decent job. Like, sometimes you just like, they wrote the one command trait that they wanted the army to have, and they were like, say something else about 4+ at the end of combat, like, or something. But like, they actually seem really decent. I just want to say a big shout out to C3R00 in the chat. That's Clemens, who just won the Irish GT Fluid from Germany. So if anyone in the chat wants to say a big whoop whoop to that guy, lovely man. I got to chat to him. Real treasure.
Cool.
So sorry. Anyway, and Disco Rat did make it here to the UK with me.
Yeah.
In my box. Disco Rat. Anyway,
cool.
sorry, Nate.
So those are the command traits if your general's a mega boss.
Yep.
But if you decide to take your general as a weird knob, which is quite tempting these days, actually, then you have got 3 command traits there, and again, all 3 of them are not bad. So the first one, Dead Cunning. You get D3 additional command points at the start of the game.
Pretty good if the army's going to be really CP heavy.
Yeah. CPs are useful. I mean, you can march your destroyers. If you can march your destroyer 3 units up at the start of the game, 3 units have suddenly got extra moves. If they're like gore grunters and stuff, they're going to be flying all over the place.
Not actually flying, but moving very far.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if they could fly. Because then they missed a huge opportunity to make pigs fly.
Pigs can fly.
Ah, perfect. All right.
Once we get to the bone splitters, you'll see flying pigs.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. I've always wanted flying pigs. So
they've always had that ability, but now they've got it pretty good.
Okay.
Then number 2, Master of the Weird, +1 to casting, dispelling, and unbinding rolls for the general.
Not bad. Has he got anything worth casting?
Yes,
What's
it
it?
has. It's got loads of spells worth casting.
Right,
so
fine.
yeah. I mean, Hannah Gork for starters.
I mean, Hand of Gork's very good. Like,
And then-
super clutch if you need it as well.
When you need it, you need it. And then for +1 to dispel and unbind as well.
Yeah. It's nice that the newer books have started to get the language of the dispelling as well. Like,
And it combines with other stuff, as you'll see later
Right,
as
sweet.
well.
Sorry. Oh, look
So,
at you drawing me in. Oh, I'm telling you a tale, Rob. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Point number 13 is going to be really good. So And so and then the last one is bursting with power, which is might be my pick. So general knows an extra spell from the Law of the Weird.
Is it called the Law of the Weird?
Yeah, the Law of the Weird.
Fantastic. Yeah. Sorry,
And then, in addition, they can cast an extra spell in the hero phase. So you become a 2-cast wizard.
Yeah.
And you know an extra spell from the law. So
that's pretty great.
Yeah.
That's pretty
great. Now, all of these command traits, they can take if you go into the big war as well. So Ironjawz units can take their command traits, etc.
Okay. All right, sweet.
Cool. So yeah,
I like the extra spellcast if the spells are good. I like the more crucial with the extra save. That's cool. But having a weird knob.
Extra save. What are you saying? What words are you saying? What does that mean? What?
Plus, what do you save? It's like Ironjawz players like moving on. Yeah. Well, there are very few models in the game. There are very few models in the game with a 3+ save. So being able to have a 2+ save is awesome.
Yeah, but you don't need it if they're all dead. And you've got nothing to save. So you may as well kill them all, and then you don't need to worry about saving.
No, you're right, and I apologise to you and all
Obvious
the other Ironjawz.
logic.
Yeah, and that's obvious logic. I apologise to you and all Ironjawz players. Yeah, I'm clearly not the destruction player I should be. It's such a different mentality. Destruction players just have a different thought process to other players. But anyway, yeah. What's next?
The best save is offensive. Chopping their heads off.
The best save is that they can't hit you.
Yeah, chop their arms off, then save. Then you've saved everything.
That's a good point, and I apologise.
Right, so moving on to the artifacts, you've got the Armour of Gork, which reflects damage on a 6 to save. Yeah.
Already we know how you feel about that.
Yeah, saving business. I mean, it does damage, so it's interesting, but it's not that interesting. You've got the Destroyer. So you pick a melee weapon. Once per battle, it gets +3 damage until the end of the phase.
Wow. And how many attacks does he have base?
So he comes, it depends which one you take. One of them has got like 8 attacks. Obviously, if you do the Y, if you double it up, you've got 10 attacks. It's damage 2 anyway. War Chanter can make it damage 3, so damage 6, 10 attacks, 60 damage.
What? 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 Oh, no. Oh, fucking hell. Don't give that to Ironjawz players. It's the only thing they'll take. They'll be like, guess what I'm doing today? Be like, what? 60 damage or I'm going home. Yeah. They literally throw their War Crusher in, miss a couple of attacks.
Yeah, that's just the dude on foot.
That's just the dude on foot?
Yeah.
Oh my god! All right, I'm against it. Don't. Okay, fine. Jesus.
So yeah, that's quite a fun one. Then you got Daubing of Mork, which gives you a 6-up after damage save thing, whatever that is. I don't know.
DPR.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Then you've got a Golden Tooth, which means don't take battle shocks within 12. And then you've got the Metal Ripper Claw.
Yeah.
Which is you change the rend characteristic of a weapon to -3 before you apply any
one of your favourite relics.
Yeah, it's pretty good for slitting people's throats, i.e. slitting their heads right off.
Right off. So they can't even attack you back. No need for a save.
Yeah, so that's pretty sweet. And then you've got the Boscure +1 to bravery for Ironjawz. So it's quite good on a support unit if you've got like extra
another artifact, yeah.
If you want to get braver, and -1 from your enemy within 12. But you can take some weird trinkets to give you weird knobs. So you probably these are more interesting, maybe. Destroyer is quite fun, and then obviously other realm artifacts are probably more interesting. But these weird ones are quite interesting.
Okay.
So there's only 3 of them. You got the grey green visions, which turns your weird knob to get that 4-up. Get a command point thing, so you come like the Fungoid or the Urgog.
That's fine.
Yeah, so if you're desperate for command points, that might be a thing. Then you've got the Amberbone Horde.
Do you not think around the Mortal Realms there's like some like wily little human merchant and he's just like opening his coat up and he's like,
Command point?
Command point?
Command point?
Command point?
Would you like a command point, little girl?
Wow, it's got really creepy, really, all of a sudden. Anyone fancy a command point? Like, and there's just some like crack-addled, like crack-addled Slaneshi players like scratching themselves. They're like, "Oh, has anyone got any command points around here? I've got to pile in an attack again." Sorry, please continue.
So you've got the Amberbone Horde, which is +1 attacks to the melee weapon used by the bearer, +1 save for attacks that target the bearer. So if you want to give your weird knob a better save, if he becomes
You got 5 up save base.
Yeah, so you give him a 4-up save, 3-up saving cover. There's a good
Well,
chance.
you put him on a Bellwind.
There's a very good chance he's going to end up on a Balewind
Okay.
because some of the spells are.
And getting an extra cast, but then so if he goes on a Bellwind, he's still only going to know 1 spell from the lore. Is that right?
Yeah, unless you give him that other one where he takes 2 spells from the lore.
Oh, that's a bit disadvantageous.
But
Isn't it?
also, he gets to, if there's units of 10, if there's a unit of 10 or more models within whatever it is, he can still use the green puke for free at the end of the phase as well. So it can be puking off of your Balewind. So
All right, fair.
a puke-nado.
A puke-nado.
Yes.
Oh my god. Every Tuesday night when I DJ, I have to avoid puke-nados coming from all the students. It's a terrible situation. I don't want puke-nado in. Okay.
So we've had the Spornado. Next on the list is a puke-nado.
We had the croak-nado. Yeah. As many nados as we can get, effectively.
All them nados. So, and then the last one is the Shamanic Skull Cap.
Yeah.
Which is quite fun. So this is +1 to casting rolls for the bearer.
Mm-hmm.
In addition, if an enemy wizard is slain, so this is the fun bit, which is probably never going to get used, but it's quite fun. So if you kill an enemy wizard with melee weapons, you can nick one of his spells because you add his skull to your cape.
Right.
So you learn one of his spells.
That's cool.
You know it for the rest of the battle.
That's cool. I like that loads.
And they're not bad in a fight, weird knobs.
No, they're all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Omega Havoc, thanks for subscribing, by the way.
But I mean, you got to play around to get your dude fighting a wizard and nicking a spell, and for it to be of any use to you.
Plus their movement 4 or 5 or whatever they are. 4, I think.
But if you had your champion, your weird knob as your general, and he had the master of the weird, he's got +1 to casting there. So by now he's +2, and then there are other ways to improve that. So you can get it up to +4 quite reliably.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not
Plus
bad.
4 is really good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not +12 to cash you can get for Hollow Heart, but it's not bad.
It just helps you get those spells off when you need them.
It does. Yeah.
So, like we said, mount traits. So you can have a big one. He's got.
Can I just say that I love the names for the mount traits because they're all like the big un, the fat un, or whatever they are. This is basically how I describe my friends. You're the big un, by the way.
So the big one +1 wound.
I'm gonna name people as you call them. Nathan is the big un, +1 to wound. Yeah.
The fast one +2 move.
But the fast un. Mark Wildman. He's got fast hands.
So the fast. That's quite interesting, especially if you're going to be using that commander, the mighty destroyers.
Yes.
So because then you're moving 28 inches.
Really fast. Yeah. That's good.
The Meanon, so +1 damage to the mighty fist and tail attack.
The Meanon.
So that's
Adam Chuckleberry.
a Ren 2 attack that does 2 damage, so it becomes 3 damage.
Wow! What on the mount?
Yeah, and
then you take the thing that does the +2 damage on the guy on the once per battle, and you war chanter them. Does the war chanter affect the mount as well?
Yeah.
So wait, so it becomes 4 damage on the fists.
Yeah.
What?
And he starts off with 8 attacks on the
What?
fists at Ren 2.
Doing damage 4.
Yeah. And it's 3s and 3s.
Wow, that's a lot of damage.
And it's quite easy. There's loads of ways to get pluses to hit. So if you took the reroll to wound one that I was talking about earlier, so you could be 2s, obviously use the command ability for reroll 1s. Mm-hmm. Wounding on 3s with the reroll, if you took that, the one where you have the reroll, so it's live to fight. So you've charged in, it's 2s with rerolling 1s, 3s with a reroll, Ren 2, potentially 4 damage. on 8 or plus, so 9 attacks.
So a lot of damage.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And then that does include the dude on top, who could also be doing a fair amount of damage, especially if you gave him the Destroyer Chopper. And then he would be doing... so what's he got? 8 attacks as well?
Nick, you need to talk into the mic, bro.
So, yeah, he would have 8 attacks. Plus, we've given him the extra attack from the War. So, 9 attacks. 3s, rerolling 1s. Oh, but we've got the +1. So, it'd be 2s, rerolling 1s. 3s with a reroll. -1, doing +3, +1. So, it'd be +4, so 6 damage each. So
6 damage each on 9 attacks.
9 or 10 if you got the 12 thing.
So wait, so that's 90 damage. And then there's the 60 damage from the fella on top.
No, that was the fella on top.
Oh, okay. All right, good. Good. I was worried. Oh, okay.
So, yeah, if you want to kill something pretty dead. I mean, a bit of overkill if you're going into a Grot Shaman, but hey-ho.
Hey ho. Yeah, that is overkill for a Grot Shaman. Please continue.
Yeah, it's all good fun. So that's the mean one. Then you got the heavy one, the fat one. So it's +1 to destructive bulk rolls. I'd like to know who you're going to call the fat one.
I mean, I don't want to go for Mark Wyman again. That's just me.
Fast and fat.
But let's do it. He can be the fat and the bastard.
And here he is again, the Loudon.
Oh, no, he's not the Loudon. That can be Joe Purcell. He can be the Loudon.
Okay, so this one is once per battle. At the start of the combat phase, you can release. You can do a mighty roar until the end of the phase. You're -1 to hit. All models within 3 are -1 to hit. It's only once per battle, so I don't know.
No, it's not that good.
Maybe. I mean, you can combine it with the Iron Suns thing, which is another -1, so you can make -2 for the first turn or something like that. But, yeah.
Okay.
Then you've got the weird one.
So many options.
All of your friends, but mainly Jim.
Yeah, but they don't know Jim, so that doesn't work.
Yeah, I think they've seen him once, haven't they?
Oh, yeah, when Moomin Rider was on the show. I forgot about Moomin Rider's appearance.
Yeah.
If anyone remembers when I had a man dressed as a cyclist on the show. He's the weird one. One day Moomin Rider will return.
So every time the model is affected by a spell or in a spell, you can roll a dice. If you do so, ignore it on a 4-up.
The Twitch chat is saying that I am the Loudon. I think that's arguably the strongest trait, the weird one. Ignoring spells on a 4+, because with that 3-up save, it's quite hard sometimes to deal with a Maw Crusher, especially if you wanted to, and you wanted to have a 2-up save. I know that seems silly, but a 2-up save, 4-up ignoring spells, that's pretty survivable. Which means, and I know your method is I'll kill everything that it can't hit me.
Yeah.
But let's say you can't kill it all, then it'll protect you from hitting it back. But that seems really good.
Yeah. If you, there are ways to try and make quite a grindy defensive thing that's going for objectives army. That's possibly one that's like you say. Right.
The Twitch chat, by the way, remembers one of the top 10 episodes is having Moomin Rider on the show. And also, you can't duplicate mount traits in this book.
Yeah, I don't
Vangelis.
think so. Yeah.
That's actually cool. I'm glad that they've paid attention to that.
Yeah, the same hero cannot have... more than one mount trait, and an army cannot include any duplicates of the same mount trait, so you can only have one fat Maw Crusher per army.
Well done, Games Workshop. I'd like to say that, just credit where credit's due. This book and the Free People's book, and I said it a ton over the week, and I'm going to say it again constantly because I think we lambast them when they do badly, and we should applaud them when they do well. They've taken rerolls basically. And they've just given everyone there is still some instances of it, but it's mainly pluses to hit, pluses to wound, minuses to hit, minuses to wound. So that just cleans the game up. And having to watch Plague Monks roll dice at the weekend, I'm all for rerolls just going realistically and just having pluses and minuses. Yeah. I think also it's a really easy mechanic to work with your opponent for and against. Like, if everyone starts stacking a lot of minuses to hit, then you can do a lot of pluses to hit in your army. Like, I think it's cool. I think it's great. Yeah.
Cool. So War Chanters have become so lacquer.
They've been so lacquer.
So much.
Are they the winners of the book for Ironjawz?
Possibly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why are they so good now?
So they're so good now, well, because of their war scroll, but also they can take war beats.
Oh, they got war beats.
So
Beateth the drum.
each war beat can be attempted once per turn,
Even more dancers for our dancing disco of the mortal realms.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these guys have got the rhythm. Regardless of how many of them know the beat, you can only try the beat once.
Okay.
So they've got the get and beat, which means you can you get it on a 4-up. You pick a Ironjawz unit wholly within 12. They can charge if they are within 18 of an enemy, and they roll 3d6 to charge.
Wow.
So that one is fantastic.
Again, going faster, even more faster.
Yeah.
Wow, it's 3d6 to charge if they're within 12.
Within 18.
Within 18?
Yeah.
And then if you have +1 to charge, because you all have +1 to charge, and then you got Ard Boys, they got +2 to charge, and you roll 3d6, statistical average is 11.
Well, how about if you take them in Blood Tooths?
Yeah.
They've got another +1 to charge, so +4 to charge. Oh, let's cast Cogs, +6 to charge.
15.
So
17.
3d6 +6 to charge.
17 on average. Wow. A 17-inch charge? I'm like, just put my screen there. They're 12.5 inches away. And you're like, yeah, no problem. I'm going to charge 28 inches. You're like, what? Oh, no. War Beats by Dre. No one needs that. Thanks, Vangelis. Oh, Hook been very excited about this. That beat, get them up. Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I think the main problem with the beats is they're on a 4-up. So it's quite hit and miss whether you get the beats, but hey-ho. Mm-hmm. Next one is a fixing beat. For any model within 12 on a 4-up, heal D3 wounds to that model.
Not bad if you're going for a survivable Maw Crusher. Heal D3.
Yeah.
Take Life Swarm.
Well, the fact that you can only do one beat of each type per turn, and you're bound to have more than one War Chanter, that's not a bad one. The fixing beat, healing up, everything's got multi-wounds. So even if you're healing up an Ard Boy back to full half because everything else is feeling honky-dory, then that's not going to hurt, is it?
Honky-dory.
So then you've got...
Drumming Dory. Yeah.
Drum-de-dory.
Yeah.
Balamori. So, and then you've got Killer Beat. So you pick an enemy unit within 12 and on a 4-up, and then you get +1 to hit against that unit with all melee weapons.
Okay.
So you target them for extra attention.
And then all of your army gets +1 to hit.
Yeah.
That's not bad. But there's enough. You hit pretty well as an army anyway.
Yeah, and there are other ways to get pluses to hit quite reliably.
All right, then we can skip that one.
So probably the last one that you would choose out of those lot.
Yeah.
All right, then Law of the Weird.
So that's all the beats. Three beats.
Those are 3 beats.
3 beats. And now some weird lore. You seemed really pumped about the Law of the Weird. Is it good?
Yeah, I like the Law of the Weird a lot.
Okay, all right.
So you have got 6 spells. You've got Brain Burster, casting value of 5. Pick an enemy unit within 16. Visible, roll 2d6. If that roll is greater than the unit's bravery, d6 mortal wounds.
That's pretty good.
If not, d3. So d3 is all right. d6 is wunderbar.
Wunderbar, yeah. Very wunderbar. Yeah, I'll take that. D6 mortal wounds, really good.
Yeah, so great for targeting little shamans and stuff like that. So really good against things that you might struggle to get at little heroes. So grots.
Yes.
Rats.
Yes. Oh, because you don't need to target. You can just target it out. Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. It's, 15 inches?
16.
16. Can you do you just Mighty Destroyer's move before you do the spell?
Yes.
Ah, nice technology. That's cool. So move them forward with a command point, and then...
So 20 inches, basically. I think they're movement 4.
Wow. Start them on Damned.
Yeah.
Oh, no, because it's at the end of the phase it does that, so no, never mind. Okay. All right, but that's cool. All right. shoot out those
Yeah.
warlock bombardiers.
So it's quite interesting. If you're going magic heavy, your problem is that the weird knobs only know one spell, unless you take that trait where you know the extra spell. So the most tempting one is obviously the great big green hand of Gork,
Okay, nice.
which is the teleport spell. Pick up a unit. It's cast on a 7. Pick up a unit wholly within 24. Lob them around. They have to be outside of 3, by the way.
Okay.
Which you have to,
Of the enemy.
yeah, and then you can lob them anywhere on the board.
That's fine. That's good. We're good. Carry on.
Cool. Sorry about that. I've got anything to. Oh, here we go. So you can
Carry on talking.
you can just put them anywhere outside of 9. So, like we say, that combines nicely with mighty destroyers, because you could go land outside of 9, but instead land outside of 12.
Okay.
And then mighty destroyers, because you get the extra move if you're outside of 12. So you could teleport a big unit of gore grunters.
Yeah.
12.1 away. Then mighty destroyers that unit,
Yeah.
and suddenly they're 3 away.
And they get +1 to charge.
Yeah.
So they're making the charge, and you can war chant them so they got +1 to hit and +1 damage.
Yeah.
And I can do that with 9 pigs.
Yeah.
Sweet. Those clan rats are so dead right now. Okay.
So yeah, that is a problem. Screens are a problem.
Screens are a problem. How do I deal with them?
So you could deal them, like we said, with the fat Maw Crusher.
Yeah. The thicken.
The fat Maw Crusher with the fat War Boss on his back.
Yeah.
Because then they're doing...
Loads of impact hits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, the shooting attack has changed. It does D6 attacks now. So, so you could shout at the screen and then sit on it.
Yeah.
And there's a good chance you'll kill about 10 models
Okay.
of a screen type models. So, like clan rats or something like that. So that can put quite a big hole in a screen where your lads can pour through.
Mm-hmm.
But there are other ways to clear screens. So,
However, they the key element, you can still smash and bash. So like screens are not as much of an issue, kind of, but a bit, yeah.
yeah, I mean, so if your opponent is clever, he will make sure all of his other units are 4 and a bit away, because most of the weapons are 1 inch, but now Gore Grunters have got those 2-inch lances, which are pretty hackers. So they've got to make sure they're 5 and a bit away behind any screens, otherwise they'll start getting chopped up. So
As long as you don't kill my precious Skaven rats, who I love, for 21 more days.
cool.
Okay.
No, so you got a mighty headbutt, casting value of 5, 16-inch again. Pick a hero. So this is like a hero assassination thing. D3 mortal wounds on a normal hero, D6 on a wizard.
Okay. Good. Talking about wizards, Nikos has just subscribed for 17 months. We'll say big love and big shout. Can't wait to see you on Thursday. Love you loads.
Cool. So that cast on a 5, fairly cheap. So it's quite good, because I think Ironjawz do struggle a bit with trying to get support heroes sometimes that are sat behind screens.
They do.
So really good. Again, Grot Shamans.
However, being a support hero in any army that a Greenskins army is hitting is terrifying. You're literally just stood there as a green tide is melting people in front of you. You're like, oh no. Oh no.
Really good. Like against Hello Hearts and stuff like that, even though they've got that 5-up ignore, but hags, that sort of stuff.
Well, sometimes it can be a 4-up ignore.
Sometimes it can be, but yeah. Only they can't ignore choppers to the face.
No, they can't ignore choppers to the face. Stupid wizards.
So, but this is the interesting one that I think... no, this is not the one. So this is another one. So Blazing Eyes, this is a laser beam. 4d6, cast on a 6. You draw a line, 4d6, between a point 4d6 and the wizard. And on every model... So every model, not unit, on a 4-up takes a mortal wound.
That's pretty good. That's great.
So if you've got the 2 cast guy and they've got a long, thin screen, you can cast them on the end of the long, thin screen, blast the line, blast a
kill half
laser
the unit.
beam up, kill half the unit, and puke on the rest, because you get the extra spell again if you've mighty destroyed another unit up. So
that's cool.
So you could, again, knock big holes in screens doing that. Then you got Bash 'em Lads, which is cast on an 8. And
So very hard to cast for
yeah,
this army.
this one is pretty hard. Except you've got the +2, potentially +4, depending on if you take it in the big war or not. You get +1 to wound by friendly Ironjawz whilst they are wholly within 16 of the caster. One, it's a good spell. You can't, +1 to wound is quite an unusual spell, I think, in a lot of armies. And these guys are all wounding on 3s anyway, so giving them
it's good that there are pluses to wound, because realistically, there's a real struggle at the minute with I think that's good. Pluses to wound, minuses to wound, because there are some opportunities now. And you're going to see quite a few Frostart Phoenixes on the board because of free cities. They're really, really good. So having something that counteracts them is nice.
Yeah, and so I mean, this will make your melee guys super reliable, because they've got so many opportunities to get pluses to hit. So pluses to hit and pluses to wound. Okay.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super good. Now, this I think is a really interesting screen clearer spell. This is called the Wrath of Gork. Cast on an 8 as well, though.
Okay.
But like we said, it's possible to get pluses to that. So pick an enemy unit within 16. So this is the one I'm thinking of for the Balewind. So you put the Balewind, you set it up in front of your wizard, so you gain a bit of extra distance like that.
Yeah.
Or you could Mighty Destroyers him up and then set up the Balewind. Then he climbs on top of the Balewind. Now he's got this 16-inch spell that he can shoot off of, so he should be able to hit most screens from there, because you've moved 6. You've probably moved
10, 11 inches.
8, or maybe 8 to 10 inches doing all of that. Then you roll 2 dice for each friendly Ironjawz unit with 2 or more models wholly within 16. Bearing in mind, it's quite easy to make a big MSU army. So you could get 5 units of Ard Boys for 450 points. So 10 units for 900 points, basically.
Okay.
And then you've got the rest of your army as well. And so you roll 2 dice for each unit. And for each 2 up, you do a mortal wound on that unit.
It's 10 units, so you roll
20 dice, 2 ups, so maybe 3 6s in there, so 18 mortal wounds.
Wow. Just what, from that guy in the Balewind?
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, it's not super reliable, but it's that's cool as hell.
Oh, it's pretty reliable if he's on +4 to cast.
And what is it to cast that spell?
8.
4 to cast. Well, he's got +4 to cast as well,
So he's got to roll a 4 to cast it, but if he rolls a 7, he's
11. He's got to try and stop it on a 12. 18 mortal wounds at 15 plus 9-inch range.
Yeah.
No, isn't it +6 with because he's on a Balewind, so 21, so 30 inches.
I don't think you get pluses to cast on the Balewind.
No, with a plus range, +6 inches cast.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So it's +6, so it's at 16 plus 6, so 22, and you've moved however far, 8 inches, so
it's about 13
inches.
range.
Or you just have them right at the back of the board and wang out a portal and stick it through the portal.
Wow.
So then he's outside of unbind range.
That's crazy. Okay, good. All right. I hadn't known about that. That's quite fun. That's quite risky as well. Plus, I love the idea of in the middle of the board there being like a green shaman surrounded by Ard Boys, all kind of like looking up at him, and him just being like, or one punch Gork. Yeah, that's what he's doing. Oh, that's cool. I just want to say big love to Speckles, who's in the chat, and also Budtastic guy all the way over from Canada. Hope you're well. He's got a cool blog you guys should check out.
Yeah. So I think screens are your problem, but then you've got ways of clearing them. I do think the Wrath of Gork is maybe one of the most interesting way. I mean, the portal is an obvious one outside of unbound range. If you do it in the Great War, you could have him on +4 to cast.
Yeah, but the portal is 70 points.
The problem is with that is you need to have the extra spell, so you would have to have him as your general with the
Yeah, I'd much rather have the Balewind.
With the extra, yeah. Whereas the Balewind, you don't lose a spell, so he doesn't have to have the extra spell.
And then once he's up there, after the turn after, when he's cast the Balewind, he's now got
Then
3
it's-
spells. No, 2 spells.
2 spells, and
That's cool.
yeah. Because then if he has the extra spell, then he doesn't have that extra.
And
plus
also, the
his
extra,
cast.
the extra spell is a lovely Mystic Shield on that Maw Crusher. Like, because who's a sweet. Oh my god.
What's a mystic shield?
Mystic Shield is a spell that some people cast.
What
Reroll
about
odds to
mystic
save.
chopper?
What about Mystic Stabber? I don't know. Okay, all right. Hello, Brobo the Clown,
Shield.
says Scrivo
The
to
hell is
Speckles.
mystic shield.
Okay.
Oh, you bring up some stupid ideas every now
I'm
and
so
again.
sorry. The lore sounds good, though.
So the weird lore is great.
Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah, it does sound really good.
All the spells are
I didn't know about that. I didn't know it was possible to do that, so that's a cool combo.
all the spells are interesting. Not any of them are particularly terrible. The Hand of Gork is just a super useful spell. It's he tempted sometimes to take 2 shamans really.
Really? It's really interesting.
The last few games I played before this book came out, I was playing with 2 shamans all the time because I did want the Hand of Gork and I wanted other spells. So
Interesting. Ardenevi says, take him in the Weird Fist and you can cast Green Puke 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do a lot more wound output? That was not what I was expecting. Okay, that's cool. All right, sweet. Apologies that I didn't know that, but radical. Okay, let's move on and talk more.
cool. So now we'll have a quick look at the 3 clans that you can take them in.
Yes.
So you got the Iron Suns. So these are the ones that get +1. Them now you don't have to roll for it. So they're -1 to be hit the first turn. First battle round.
Yes.
So
-1 to hit.
they're -1 to be hit.
Wow.
The whole army for the first battle round.
Is that good? You could double it up with Geminids and just make your army like super survivable turn 1.
Just
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah, it's not. It's there's no 2 ways about it. That's really
Yeah,
good
it's really
ability.
good. Really good. I'd be hard pressed to find something else that's as good.
They have the command ability, which is alright, get 'em. So at the end of the charge phase, you pick a friendly. So at the end of the enemy charge phase,
Yes.
they've charged. So after they finish charging, you can pick one of your units within 12 of a unit and with 18 of a hero, more than 3 from enemy models, and that unit can attempt to charge. So you can counter charge.
That's cool.
So yeah, really good, especially if you've got Fat Maw Crusher.
Yeah. Doing what? Doing the fat damage?
Yeah. And the brutish thingamajiggy.
Yeah. I remember that one. Yeah.
The fat war boss on top of the Fat Maw Crusher.
Right, yes, and he does it all. Yeah.
So he'll do D3, and then the Fat Maw Crusher will do 8 dice 4s.
Do a mortal wound.
Yeah.
Okay, that's decent. Yeah, in its turn. So they've given fanatics, but it's not a fanatic. It's one giant, fat, thick Maw Crusher.
And it's after they finish charging.
Wow.
But then they
Strong.
can counter charge.
That's what they call it. Okay, strong. A strong Maw Crusher.
Or
Okay.
bearing in mind that even if they haven't charged you, it's in their charge phase. You've just wandered over. You fought something. Now they're going to want to back away because you can still charge them. They've got a unit with handgun and shooting away.
Yeah.
But now there's a Maw Crusher sat there. If they don't shoot him, he will charge you and fight you in your combat phase.
Oh, I see what you mean. So you basically could just run the Maw Crusher. Not that you would, but you could. Like, straight forward. Then put him in front of you. And then your opponent's not dealing with him by the charge. He's like, I've got to shoot that. That's cool.
And I've got to retreat. Or you could just run your whole army up. And it'd be like, I'm going to deal with this? Because if you don't, we're coming.
You're going to need command points to do so. But yeah, like that's actually a good argument for having those extra command points.
Yeah.
But yeah, that makes loads of sense because that's scary. And these are Iron Suns.
Yes.
2+ Stuff says the Choppers is my fave. We haven't done those yet. Iron Suns is amazing in general, though. So many combos.
Iron Suns is great. So it's led by their boss is called Dagback Rock Kicker. And the next command trait is called the Right Fist of Dakbad.
So you have to give someone that command trait.
So that command ability. So this is the command trait that you have to give them. So which is at the start of the battle, you received an additional command point.
Okay.
So
that's not bad.
It's not a bad command point,
especially in that army, which is going to be CP heavy.
Yeah, it means that you miss out on the other command traits, which are making your guy a fat lad, giving them the rerolls, all of that mighty war. But that's not a bad command trait to trade in for, really, like you say. And then one of your mega bosses has to take the Sun Blessed armor, because they're Iron Suns, and that means that you worsen the rend of attacks that target the bearer by 1.
Okay.
So you got +1 save effectively, but only against rend.
Okay. +1 save against rend is okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like, the only reason I say it's okay is because at a time that was quite a cool ability, but now like the scary things have got rend 2.
So it becomes rend 1.
Yeah. I guess it's okay, and it's good on a Maw Crusher.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to take that Ironclad thing, no, you can't go. Obviously, you can't combine it. Yeah, because you can't wear Ironclad, and Ironclad was a command
trait.
Yeah, you can't because you've got to take that right for stuff. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Ironclad used to be, and it was very popular with guys that wanted to protect their Maw Crushers. Taking that minus, decreasing the rend.
It's interesting though. You've got that like huge power in that command ability, but you have to give the command trait that's pretty okay, and also the first artifact to a character. So you're just like, I want this like really like specced out like war boss, but I also want the actual abilities in there, which is a bit sad. So okay.
Well, I think all of those things in there are pretty useful. I mean, especially if you're going to run at them, you're -1 to be hit. You're reducing the rend of handgunners to 0, basically, and all of that. If they don't shoot you, you're going to charge them and duff them up.
Yeah.
In their turn.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess there's not a lot of -2 shooting that we see often. Storm Fiends to the side, as an example. But yeah, okay, all right, fair enough. The command ability, I think that's actually one of those armies that if you played just Iron Suns, Ironjawz, you kept playing it, I think you'd get better and better with that army. Yeah, definitely. Because you'd understand so much more about the like the charge phase, the counter charge phase. Yeah, that's quite hard.
So Iron Suns are great. I'm
really exciting TV as well. Like those guys, just like you're like in the opponent's charge phase, and someone just like command point and just throws an extra charge. And you're like, oh, I never saw it coming. Right, yeah, that's right.
Or they've charged their units forward, and then the support dude is stuck behind, and then your flying dude just flies over the top and gets them and stuff like that. It's just there's so many things you can.
There are so many options. Yeah, good point. What about a flying mega boss on foot? Yeah, who then counter charges, but over the top. You're like, what's happening?
Thermal Rider Cloak with these lads. Awesome, isn't it?
Really good.
Especially if you take a couple of mega bosses, you'd be tempted to make one of them a flyer.
Look at you all excited about Ironjawz. All right, I'm scared. I don't want to fight them. Okay, good.
Bloodtooths. So these are the ones I used to play all the while. Zogback Realm Ripper and his mates. So again, I think you're going to struggle to choose between the clans. I think they're all pretty decent, and you're going to struggle with. You just want to make your own clans up. So there's loads of options. It's great. It's really good. So this has got Hunt and Crush, +1 to charge.
It's fine.
And run.
That's
run and charge. So now you're +2. +4 on Art Boys. Great. Really good.
That's for the whole army.
Yeah.
+4 on Art Boys is really strong. Yeah.
Command ability, Breakthrough the Line. Use this command ability at the end of the combat phase.
Oh, I hate these. Yeah.
So if you pick a friendly Bloodtooth unit that has fought in that combat phase, wholly within 24 of a Bloodtooth hero, it can make a normal move, but cannot run or retreat. So I think it's going to have a load more utility than people think. Suddenly units moving around at the end of the combat phase, because a lot of the time at the end of the combat phase, units have wiped out other units.
Yeah.
Suddenly you're moving around, taking objectives, nicking stuff. Be like, I've managed to screen them away from my objective. bang. Wasted the screen. Now we pile in and take your gold.
Or it's like run off the objective, charge, smash something, then run back to your objective.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's not that you can run, but move back to your objective and do that. Yeah. Okay.
I think in the hands of a good player, that's a really, really good ability.
I'd say it would, but like the footprint of the Ironjawz army is pretty large. So like your Maw Crusher like can move away like to another side of the board, for instance, or something. I'm just trying to like look at it on the tabletop, and I think, it's really good. It's just you're not like sneaking through little units. They're pretty big, like base size. Like I was thinking about pigs, I was like they're pretty big, but actually, if I wipe something out, and because it's cool. It's cool. Yeah. I'd have to play against it a little bit and watch it, I think. But I think that's why it's really exciting. Yeah.
I think, well, I mean, I've somebody in the Gits chat, they were like, these guys have got so many Gits rules, and that is a Gits rule. That is great, that rule.
That is
really,
very sneaky.
Really
Tugboat K in the chat says, more importantly, Nathan, it is the time of the gyrocopter, so happy. Yeah.
That as well. There's too many things.
There's too many things to be excited about at the minute. Hi to Dumbler. Sorry, Nathan, carry on.
So this is the command trait. So this is the one that's a bit iffy, if you ask me, because you need a realm gate on the field for this. And you don't bring a realm gate with you anymore.
Right. And you can't pay for realm gates anymore either.
No, so I don't know how you're going to get realm gates on the field. Okay, so your command...
Hopefully that'll be FAQ'd.
Yeah, your command trait...
Hey dude, I day.
So you take this command trait instead of one of the other ones. It's called Get the Realm Gate. If there's any of the realm gates on the field, you add 2 to the dice roll when you do the war. So when you're trying to get that 12...
Wow.
Basically, you're doing it on a 10 instead of on a 12.
That's pretty good. Plus 2 attacks on a 10. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Not bad. But not. But like again, the realm gate issue is going to cause.
Yeah, your problem is that realm gate thing. So, yeah.
All right.
Just depends if tournaments are going to let you when you bring the scenery. If you can bring a realm gate as one of your pieces or not, I don't know.
Because I just didn't get any scenery, did they?
Yeah. So I don't know. They're the ones that used to take a realm gate as part of the battalion. So I don't know how this is going to work. But their artifact of power is freaking great.
Is it really good?
So the first Bloodtooth Mega Boss must receive the Quick Duff Amulet.
Okay, what does that do?
So the Quick Duff Amulet lets you cast the Great Green Hand of Gork once per battle. It's automatically cast and cannot be dispelled. So you get a free teleport.
A free teleport. That's pretty great. As an artifact. Okay.
So basically it's a Vexilor banner type thing.
But do you need that in that army? Like it's the same way like Great Green Hand of Gork. Like on paper, you're like, a teleport's always an amazing spell. But you've got so much extra mobility in that army always, all the time.
Yeah. But now you've got it twice. So you can teleport. So chill. So I think it's really good. So your problem was to get the Mad as Hell rule. Your weird knob wasn't in amongst your lads when you teleported them or when they mighty destroyed. But now you can quick duff him up, teleport a unit as well. Then he can puke on them. They move D6, pile in, and
just makes those charges more reliable.
Yeah, or it's just great if you're up against like a Tzeentch army where they're like, no, you're not going to get any spells off. I've got this thing, and it says I'm getting this spell off, so I'm coming.
Like a Tzeentch wizard. Yeah, just flying across the board. All right, okay.
Like, yeah, you've got plus 75 to dispel, and you can use 15 dice, and you can pick them out. You know what numbers you're going to use. All of that
I've
stuff.
Just automatically done it.
That's all right. I'm here. I've got my special chopper. I'm going to come and cut your wings off, you stupid Lord of Change.
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
So I like that one a lot.
Me too. That's a good one.
Right. Everybody says the best way to thing is make sure you're rolling less dice or most
reliability.
Yeah. So that's the most reliable Hand of Gork in the world.
Yeah. The consistency.
In all the multiple realms.
Yeah. The fact that it's consistency and just happens means that you can make some guaranteed plays, which is always really important, right? And that's why I actually think the overarching allegiance ability sounds a little bit underwhelming. The +1 to charge. But I actually think that's bigger than people realise. Like, that's huge. Which is why I'm always fastidious and really annoying about movement. Because if you see someone move bottom on an extra couple of inches, that's actually huge for those charge percentages to go up and down.
Well, yeah. So those guys have got +2 to charge. Basically, like if you've got a big unit of Gore Grunters, Mighty Destroyer them up, Mighty Destroyer them again. So it's 18 inches, and then they've got +2 to charge off
So
of
they're
that.
going to make that charge.
And then you've quick duffed a unit of hard boys up. They got +4 to charge. Your mega boss has flown over. He used the Mighty Destroyers. Used the Mighty Destroyers again because you got battalions. You got a couple of command points. So he's moved 24 inches.
Wow.
And he's got +2 to charge.
Okay. All right. Yeah, really good.
So yeah, they're right in your face.
Loads of options.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then the new clan is called the Choppers.
Da Choppers.
The Choppers.
Super Stuff's favourite.
So they've got a rule which are the Vandal Hordes. Reroll charge rolls for Choppers whilst they are within 12 of terrain features that are fully or partially in the enemy territory. So basically, once they get into the enemy territory, they're rerolling charges.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Because there's going to be terrain all over the place.
All over the place. Yeah.
Even if they're more than halfway up more than a third of the way up the board, I reckon they're going to be rerolling charges because they're within 12 of terrain that's overlapping into the enemy territory, depending on how the enemy territory is, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah. Command ability. So this is a pretty strong one. So this is a bit like the Barak Urbaz, where the chemists get a buff. This one makes your war chanters get a buff.
Yeah.
So when you're picking a unit of brutes or ardboys with the Violent Fury ability, which gives you +1 damage, you can pick 3 units instead of 1.
Wow. Is that for every war chanter?
When you use... Yeah, it says War Chanters. Choppers, War Chanters. When you use a friendly, so it's 1.
Oh, but it does mean you don't have to buy 2 more war chanters.
Yeah, so it's cost you a command point.
Yep.
But you... Yeah, so...
Wow. So +1 damage on... So that unit...
3 units, but it's Ardboys and Brutes, not picks.
Our boys and brutes. So it's going to be the our boys, right?
Well, yeah, I think this one... So the fluff is all about Ardboys in this unit. They're famous for their Ardboys.
Right.
So maybe it's designed for that, but +1 damage on Brutes is also pretty sweet.
No, I agree. It's just...
But
there's a lot of attacks coming out of our boys.
Yeah. It multiplies faster on Ardboys.
Yeah, there's a better economy of scale. That's quite scary, actually. But then also that's such a key piece to get sniped out. And he is the war chanters are not particularly survivable.
No,
they're big brave lads banging a drum, but they're naked as the
Yeah,
day.
you're gonna have a couple of them. They got 4-up save
I know. I just
and 6 wounds.
yeah, but they don't have the ignore damage save. I actually think weirdly the grot shamans are actually mathematically more survivable.
The fungoids, yeah.
Yeah, because they got nothing that can stop the
mortal wounds, yeah.
Choppers is the foot army, says Vangelis. Yeah, so a bunch of those guys. I'm hard pressed to So that's the 3. Is there any more for that?
Oh, so this one, their command trait is a bit meh because it's +2 bravery with wholly within 18 of the general for all their units. Although if you take a weird knob general, so if you make your general a mega boss, then you can choose other artifacts. But if you take your weird knob as your general, then he has to take the Mega Skull Staff, which means that he can do a Wa instead of... He doesn't have to be a Mega Boss to do the Wa.
Okay. That's pretty good.
So it's not bad. I mean, the Wa is still a bit... It's not... Yeah, it's good, but it's not as fantastic as it was before. So
No, but I prefer that. I think like the one trick pony, which was the Ironjawz army before, it seems to have like developed a lot of skills just in these allegiance abilities and artifacts. So like for me personally, I think it's a much better change, which is what I said at the top of the show. I think that they've again honed it down a little bit, which I think is nice. Yeah,
I think they're a real threat to some armies. Scary. I mean, that Wrath of Gork thing, doing 18 mortal wounds.
Yeah, when he stood on top of Belwyn, just summoning it all. Yeah, okay. All right. So that's the 3 different clans.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the unit, shall we? I'm just going to let everyone know that I'm conscious about time because the nightclub that we're on top of
is about to kick off.
It's about to kick off. Normally there's not anything on Monday, but the students have returned to the Nottingham, and so there'll be some talk about war chanters and disco beats. There will be a bunch of war chanters downstairs.
Cool. So do you want to run through the war scrolls quickly, shall we then? So you've got Godrak, like you say, he's changed a fair bit. He's still got Cannon and Smasher, which are pretty dangerous, especially against wizards and heroes. And then Big Tooth, his Maw Crusher. It looks like his Maw Crusher can actually take mount traits as well. So
yes.
So it looks that way. So that's cool.
And surely that's got to give him the weird and just make it so that he ignores mortal wound. Well, ignores spells on a 4+. That's a big one, right?
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah.
But also, you could just make him a fat one.
Oh, yeah. So they do destructive bulk. His destructive bulk is better. It's 9 dice to start off with, but it is on a 5+ now instead of a 4+, and you can still smash into other things. Cannon and Smasher, like we said, do extra damage against wizards and heroes.
And also, all the profiles have been neatened up, right?
Yeah,
There's not as many. Yeah.
Yeah, there are not so many different layers. They still get fairly actually they don't. The nice thing is they don't get that much more rubbish as they take damage as well, because they used to really struggle to hit things once they started taking damage, whereas now the to hit and the to wound on the fists and the tail is the same all the way. You just get less attacks, and they decrease a bit, but it's not that bad really. So yeah, I think the Maw Crushers are loads better. Strength from victory as well, so they get +1 to their wound and +1 to their attack of the boss's choppers every time they kill a model in combat.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's for the mega bosses on Maw Crushers.
Yeah. So it's if they've killed if they've slain any models, in that they'll heal 1, and not heal, they get +1 wound, and they'll get +1 attack. So it's not a heal. So your Maw Crusher actually becomes worse still, but it's because your boss on the back is getting bigger and bigger. But he's generating more and more attacks.
That's if you kill a unit?
No, just a model.
Wow.
So every turn he should be killing something that he's alive, and he'll just be getting more and more attacks. So
it's good reason to take the healing spell though.
Yeah. If you heal them up, then you could end the game on loads more wounds than you started the game with. And if you killed everything, if they attacked you in all of their turns and you attack them in all of their turns, you could end up with +10 attacks at the end of the game.
Wow.
On your chopper.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah. So yeah. So they don't want to just be feeding you stuff, because you're just getting scarier and scarier. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Then his command ability is quite cool, because it picks 3 destruction units as opposed to Ironjawz units. Wholly within 24. They get +1 to hit.
Not bad.
So that's great.
But like the whole army already gets a lot of pluses to hit anyway. And the old command ability was so cool.
Oh yeah, +2 and extra charge. But yeah, pluses to hit is great. I mean, that's going to be really good on stuff that only hits on 4s. Suddenly your point grounders hitting on 3s and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
Yeah, pretty scary. Fanatics hitting on 3s instead of 4s.
Is that in a mixed destruction list?
Yeah. So all they can be allied in pretty easy. So.
Okay, all right.
Trogs hitting on twos and stuff like that. Yeah, great.
Avenger says, and this is a good point, good reason to take the Ironstone's trait and charge in your opponent's turn to get an extra attack and wound on your chopper.
Yeah.
So you could be getting into combat without any choice on their part. You could just be like, cool, it's turn 3,
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
added 6 attacks to my chopper.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's true.
Really interesting.
Yeah,
Good point, thank you very much.
Cool. So the other mega boss, so you got a choice now on attacks. So you got the Gore Hacker and Chopper, which is 8 attacks minus 1 damage 2, or you got the Rip Tooth Fist and the Chopper, 6 attacks minus 1 2 damage, but the Rip Tooth Fist gives you a reflective damage every time you save. Every time you have an unmodified 6 as a save, you do a mortal wound.
Okay.
So pretty good if you're going into like plague monks and stuff like that, where you're going to take 1 bazillion saves. Yeah, you might die, but you probably take a load of plague monks with you. But sod that, just chop them all up first. You've got the destructive bulk, which we said is on a 5-up instead of a thing. So he's only 8 dice because he's not big tooth. Strength from victory, what we said before, same as Godrax, where you get +1 attack.
But the big takeaway really for both of the Maw-Crusher variants is the 3+ save and the 13 wounds?
15 wounds now, so they've had an extra wound, and they've got a 3-up, bravery 8, and they moved 12 at the beginning, so bearing in mind that's probably 24.
Because spend a command point to might destroy them
forward. And you might even just puke on them, or you might stick them next to deadly, and then they're moving D6 plus 24 if you really want to go fast. But I think 24 is quite fast enough.
I think 24 is way fast enough, yeah. Especially with +1 to charge, and then that crushing bulk. So that's actually really, really scary. Okay.
Cool. His command ability, pick 1 friendly Ironjawz unit wholly within 12, or 18 if he's the general. No. Wholly within 12 if he's not on his Maw-Crusher, but if he is on his Maw-Crusher, 18. And you can do +1 to attack, +1 to hit, and you can't affect a unit more than once per phase. So it's at the start of the combat phase you can make units pluses to hit.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, so you can so the whole army is hitting on
2s,
3s at the moment, so it become 2s, except for the pigs hit on 4s, but yeah, make them 3s. So yeah, pretty sweet.
But then you can war chant with the pigs also, so it's 2s.
No, the War Chanter is different. So now the War Chanter is Violent Fury instead of Frenzy of Violence. And this one is you pick a unit wholly within 15, +1 damage to melee weapons until the next hero phase as well.
Wow.
So it doesn't just last your turn like in the old days. This is until your next hero phase. So it's a nice defensive buff as well. +1 damage. So damage 2 on all of your normal boys, choppers. Damage 3 on your bigger lads. And yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Damage 2 on your pigs.
It seems to scale really well with pigs. Because obviously you've got 2 different weapon profiles.
Yeah.
And also Ard boys. Because I hear +1 damage and I always want to get as many attacks as possible to add +1 damage to. But it's still really good.
Yeah. So it just works really well across even brutes. So brutes I've got cheaper. So 5 brutes are cheaper than 10 Ard boys, and they've got 5 brutes have got 4 attacks each, so it's 20 attacks roughly. I mean, you've got more or less for the champions and stuff like that. But if you just had 5 regular brutes, that would be 20 attacks. So it'd be doing potentially 40 damage.
Wow.
And they're like 140 points.
Okay, pigs for days. Says Oscar Last Paints.
That's the brutes. So then the pigs have got. I think the riders got 3 attacks. Might be 4 now. Let's have a look at pigs.
They've got 3 attacks each, haven't they? 4 attacks on the pigs.
So the riders have got 4 attacks if they take the choppers, or 3 attacks if they take the Gore Hacker. So the Gore Hacker is the 2-inch one. The choppers. So if they take the smaller one, 4 attacks, damage 1, so that'd be damage 2, and then the pigs have got 4 attacks. But if you take the Gore Hacker, 3 attacks. The reason why you would take those is because they get on the charge No. Oh yeah, on the charge you get +1 to hit and wound rolls for attacks made with the gore hackers and the tusks and hooves if they made a charge. So there would be 2s and 2s on the charge with the gore hacker, and then the pigs would be 3s and 3s.
I'd take that. I being someone who's sat on 27 pigs, I like the idea of those pigs being able to do. See the issue is I quite like the idea of doing the MSU pigs for the smashing and bashing, but then the pluses to damage makes me want to pick a big unit to go in and do some work. But it's, you can have a big Maw Crusher going in and doing his big fat thick damage, and then 9 pigs just running up and doing.
Yeah, I think 6 is enough because the footprint's pretty big. You can buff up a unit of 6, and you got small units to go and start picking out on other stuff as well, screens and stuff.
But also with the spear, when you charge, don't you get +1 damage as well?
No, so you just get pluses to hit and to wound on the spear. So it's +1 to hit and to wound rolls.
That's really good though. Spencer says whoever wrote the new Orcs battle tome best have written my Bone Boys too.
And then they also do impact hits. So on a 4-up, they do a mortal wound each pig.
That's cool.
When they charge.
Yeah, I mean 4-up, so it's like a little thing, but it's still nice. Especially again if you're charging into a monster. I know smashing and bashing is great, but just going into any old monster and then just doing 4 or 5 mortal wounds to bring them down a tier, just in case, is a really nice little addition actually.
Right, so and those guys are 160 now, so they've gone up in points because they are better.
Yeah, Squinty Hughes says, and I think Tim King Drifter made this joke earlier as well, sounds like someone needs to develop an AOS assault rifle to deal with these 30 to 50 feral hogs. I agree.
Yeah, I think you're going to see lots of piggies out there because they are great.
Yeah.
Right, Ard Boys. So Ard Boys now come in units of 5 instead of 10.
Okay.
90 points, so they've gone up quite a bit. But they have only got 1 weapon profile now. 2 attacks, 3s now instead of 4s. And 3s -1 damage. So potentially 2 with the old War Chanter.
Yeah.
The drummer gives you +2 to charge.
Wow, that's
still
so
gold.
good.
Still gold.
Every time I've seen you make crazy charges with your Ard Boys, just because with you used to have like +4 to charge, didn't you? But now you so the Ard Boys have base because they're Ironjawz.
I've played them
+3
quite
to charge.
often with +6 to charge.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So with maybe if you put cogs in as well,
Yeah.
those Ard Boys without like even needing to, apart from to cast a spell, they are +5 to charge.
See, cogs are so good in an Ironjawz army because you get in the hero phase movement and you get in the crazy charges, so you're just doubling down. So everybody
it's just +4 really.
Yeah, everybody else is only moving in the movement phase. But if you can move in the hero phase and then in the movement phase and then in the charge phase, you've added 6 just from the cogs.
Yeah.
Whereas everybody else is
adding 2.
Yeah.
Or 4 if they're charging.
Yeah, if they're bothering to charge. But
Also, really nice again with Iron Suns. If you do have cogs up and you're charging your opponent's hero phase and you're adding 2 to that charge, that's quite scary. That's really cool, actually.
Yeah. And you've got the get 'em beat on the go and
with 3d6 charge. That's actually you've got Iron Suns.
When does that get 'em beat? How long does it last?
That's a great question. Let's find that out. Because I think, that's...
Start of your charge phase. Oh, no.
The reason that me and Nathan were saying that is because what would be very, very cool would be to have a unit in the middle of the board, have that beat on him, also have cogs up, and then effectively be there like, if anyone comes within 18 inches, you fuck.
Stay away.
Yeah.
That's great. Cool. So their standard bearer gives them +2 bravery instead of +1 like everybody else. So they're super brave. And if they have if they take the other one, then they take -1 bravery from enemy units. So if there's 10 of them, then they can take both banners as well. And then they've also got the shields now, which 2 boys in every 5 can take shields. And they get a 6-up ignore, but it's only on wounds, not on mortal wounds. bearing in mind that is, but it's still 6-up ignores, So they've got tougher, they hit harder, and
They got a tiny bit cheaper.
Yeah.
But they hit a lot.
No, they got more expensive.
Sorry, a little bit more expensive, but they do hit a lot harder.
Yeah. Especially with the buffs that they can
Well, the +1 damage is a crazy buff to those guys. Because effectively, you've doubled the unit's output. Like, that's, I mean, what, for 20 points more? Oh, no, sorry, 10 points more each.
So, no, they've gone up. They were 140, I think, as well.
So
they've gone up
180 for
50
10.
points for 10, yeah.
Okay, all right, so gone up quite a bit.
Yeah.
All right.
But they've got that 6-up ignore thing on. They've got extra stuff there. So that's quite good. Iron Skull's boys are quite interesting now as well. So they're only 80 points. You get effectively like a small unit of Ard
Which is
boys.
the Shades by Warclans.
Yeah. So they're quite tempting if you like short 10 points here or there. One of the lists I was writing ended up with them, and because I was 10 points shy. So yeah,
That's cool.
Brutes are pretty much the same as they ever were. 4 attacks on the general lads. If they take choppers, 3s, -1, 1 damage. If they take the Gore Hackers, 3 attacks, but they range 2. The Gore Chopper, which is the big one, this one hits on 4s. So you probably want to put your pluses to hit on these lads because of that Gore Chopper, or else throw that fucking thing away. Damage 2 though, so it will become damage 3. The boss now. So you've lost the cool mechanic where you could grab dudes with your claw. Sad times. But the claw and smasher is 4 attacks, hitting on 4s, winning on 3s, -1 doing 2 damage. And then the boss chopper, which might be actually better now, is 3 attacks because it's hitting on 3s, winning on 3s, -1 doing 2 damage. So they've lost the chance to have the Ren 2. Which the boss used to have, which is.
Do you think that's a good change?
I don't think it's. I don't think it's as good as it was. The boss was really fun with the claw and the basher mechanic. It was quite a fun thing, and having the Ren 2 was super good. And I think it's the main reason why they've actually dropped him points. So there you go. They still got duff up the big things, but now instead of rerolls, they just get +1 to hit if the target unit has 4 wounds or more on their characteristic. So there's a good chance they'll be hitting on 2s a lot of the time if they're fighting heroes or eels or enlightened or any of that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Not bad.
Yeah, and then that does sort of make them a bit more reliable with their 4-up ones. Cool. So that's those lads. Those are the main infantry, and we've done the Mega Boss on Maw-Crusher. So the other characters, we've done the War Chanter. So you got the
Mega Boss on foot.
Mega Boss on foot. He's got 6 attacks, 3s, -1, 2 damage.
It's pretty good.
So
especially if you buffed him up.
Yeah. So you can buff this guy up pretty
But
easy.
he's slow, right? Movement 4.
He's movement 4, so
That doesn't make any sense.
he can.
If he's twice the size of a dispossessed, how is he only movement 4?
Yeah, well, he's covered in armor and he's carrying a massive skull and stuff, so maybe that's slowing him down, maybe.
Heavy. All right, fair.
Who knows? He has got the Strength of Victory thing as well. He's also got the Rift Tooth thing as innate, so he's reflecting mortal wounds on 6s to save. Unmodified. And that doesn't mention that it's only in the combat phase.
Okay, yeah, currently waiting for an FAQ to see if it's...
He's punching bullets back across the... Bang!
I do actually really like that image.
He's like Wonder Woman. Ding!
Yeah.
Wonder Mega Boss.
I think
woman.
no one in their life has compared a Mega Boss on foot to Wonder Woman, but now that's all I'm going to see.
There we go. Yeah. And he's got the same command ability. Go on, lads, get stuck in. So that's the +1 to hit command ability. But his range is obviously only 12 instead of 18.
Arden Evie in the chat said he's not only Evie, he's Arden Evie.
He's Arden Evie.
Yeah, thanks Arden Evie for saying that in the chat.
So he's pretty cool. He's quite a threat. I think you might see a few lists without Mega Boss or more Crushers and just with a Mega Boss on foot wandering around, being scary. And then the Weird Knob. So the Weird Knob has got... 6 wounds with a 5 up save. Only movement 4 as well. Instead of D3 attacks with his staff, he's got 3 attacks. 4s and 3s.
That's great.
-1 doing D3 damage. So he's not bad. He's pretty scary in a fight against. So he's the guy that
So you can max out at 12 damage. Yeah. What the hell?
Oh, imagine you put a War Chanter buff on him.
D3 plus 1. Whoa.
So, yeah.
Wow, 16 damage out of a. That's awesome. I love that model. I want it to be like. I don't know why he's not a 2-cast wizard.
Yeah. I mean, he quite often ends up in a fight towards the end of the game, and he's pretty scary in a fight. Mine's killed loads of things.
Yeah, but now it's flat 3.
Nobody,
attacks. That's great.
That's great. Brutal power. If he's wholly within 18 of a friendly Ironjawz unit with 10 or more models at the end of the hero phase, he can do the Great Green Puke spell. He can cast Green Puke, basically. So, it's not... If it was at any point in the hero phase, that would be great, because then you'd basically be giving your whole army D6 to move in the hero phase. But it's not, so... There we go.
I think that's a positive for everyone else, Nate.
Yeah.
Not for you, but for everyone else, it's a positive.
Green Puke is 2d6, so it's quite a short range. Cast on a 6, and units that are hit by it take d3. So, maybe tempting through a portal, but I don't think it's worth it, really.
No.
And that's it. So, he casts 1 spell and unbinds 1 spell. So... He is not as good as he used to be. He used to be able to get +2.
And how do you feel about the loss of Foot of Gork?
And Foot of Gork is a sad thing to have lost, but I can't imagine it will be long gone without it. It's got to be coming back soon.
As an endless spell, you think?
Yeah, or something.
Then why hasn't it come out with the Battle Tome? China. Do you think China?
No, they're probably still moulding that foot.
The most beautiful foot you've ever seen.
So if you see some dude wandering around with some latex casting, you know he's looking for a good foot.
Yeah, okay.
It's like Cinderella hunting for that foot.
So,
so there's the battalions.
Yes, please. Please.
Want to do those?
Yeah, I do.
All right, so we've still got the Ardfist, which is the one that is for Ard Boys. So you get a War Chanter and 3 to 5 Ard Boy units on a 4-up. So if any of those units are wiped out, so this is a command ability now, I believe it is. Yeah, command ability. So it costs you a command point, but on a 4-up, you can set up a new Ard Boys unit with 10 models. So you can start off with just spam 5 units of 5 Ard Boys. If they die on a 4-up, they become 10 Ard Boys.
What?
That's great.
That's so good.
So, but it's relying on you rolling 4-ups. They set up on
I'm screwed. I'm not doing it.
Only within 6 of the edge of the battlefield, 9 from enemy units. So, yeah. I don't think it's particularly rubbish. I think it's
also very fun.
Hit and miss. But I think you might see a few of those kicking about now. So, yeah.
And that battalion is called
Ardfist, and it's quite cheap. I think it's only 120.
Wow.
So I should really bring up the points for these, but we'll do. So you got the Brawl, which is the big one that nobody can take, so we won't bother with that. Then where are these things? Let's get the points so we know what we're talking about. Ardfist was 120.
120. Vangelis says, overall takeaway from this book is how many times did we say with a command point, ? Which is a good point. Reflex dog training and pain, and it's just being really complimentary in the chat, and I don't know what he's saying, but love you loads, bruv.
Yeah.
Loads and loads.
Yeah, I do think there's command points here, Hungry Army again, but then there were quite a few that we were saying where you can get, so mainly it's Mighty Destroyers. So you've got that Brutal Cunning one, which is great. You get the command, you don't have to use a command point. And then if we take, this is probably my favorite battalion, the Iron Fist.
Iron Fist.
So this is the one that everybody
Are
used.
any of these battalions locked into having to be in certain clans, or they can all be
No,
taken?
anybody can take any of
Okay,
these
good.
things. So the Iron Fist, and you can take them in the Big War as well, or Mixed Destruction or whatever. So the Iron Fist is... Oh, it's quite interesting in Mixed Destruction, actually. Anyway, 3 to 5 units of Brutes, Gore Grunters, or Ard Boys. So your normal battle line. One of the Brute bosses or Gore Grunter bosses gets +2 wounds.
Mm-hmm.
So, become bigger and stronger. And that big boss can use the Mighty Destroyer's command ability as if they were a mega boss, and they don't have to spend a command point.
That's awesome.
So there's another way of getting Mighty without spending command points. So you can do it twice a turn without spending any command points. So it means free moves or free charges or free piling and attacks.
And as we already said, there's a lot of command points needed to make this army work. Not to work, but to work better and to be scarier.
Yeah. So I think that's quite a tempting one. It is the most expensive of these, I think. Yes, it is 160. But I think it's probably worth its points. Reduces, so you're going to get extra artifacts and stuff, which we've seen. They're quite some very nice lacquer ones.
Oh yeah, they've got some very good ones.
So yeah,
And also you get an extra you also get an extra mount tray as well.
Oh yes, yeah.
Also, the modelling opportunities for different types of Maw Crushers, like the weird one. Oh my god, I can't wait to see someone model the weird one and the fat one. I can't wait. Rob says, finally tuned in while I got a little man as asleep on me. He's definitely going to be a destruction player with the mess he makes. And also, yeah, congratulations to Warhammer Rob just had a kid this weekend, I think. So congratulations to him. That's really awesome.
He's been casting green puke already.
Yeah, he's got green puke. And Squinty Hugh currently has got his child sat atop him while he's watching this as well. It's just a bunch of dads watching the telly like, tell me more about these greenskins.
Cool. So there's the Gore Fist. This is quite a cool one as well. 3 to 5 units Gore Fists. Gore Grunt, sorry. The boss gets 2 wounds, so he becomes a big boss. And in the first hero phase, each unit from that battalion wholly within 18 of the big boss at the start of that hero phase can make a normal move but cannot run. So basically you get loads of free moves. So it's like having as many moves as you make that many command points free, really, because you're doing a Mighty Destroyers thing.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting.
So it's quite interesting, especially with cogs. Again, like I say, it multiplies. So you could cast cogs now. All those Gore Grunters moving 11. They move 11 at the start of the hero. No, it doesn't have to be at the start. So you can cast the spell first. Oh no, it does have to be at the start. So they would move 9, then they would move 11. But then you could do Mighty Destroyers on them. They could move again. And so you could be moving 31 inches.
And then charge 3d6.
And then charge 3d6. And
if you get the beat off. But like, where do you want to go? The board's only so fucking big. Like, everyone's like, yeah, so pigs now can move 33 inches. Like, the board's only like 48 inches long. Where are you going? I do like the idea of is like if you got really clever and you deployed super heavy on one side.
yeah, and then you just attack.
And then you just ran to the other side, and then your opponent's like, "Oh, that's interesting." That actually gives you some really interesting redeployment ideas. That's cool. I like that. And also, you can't give these guys the first turn. Like if you've got a deep striking army or something, because they're going to take up a large portion of the board. Yeah. But that's why I'm always going to advocate for Ard Boys instead of loads and loads of Brutes. Is because then you can control more board space, which you have to do because you normally spend the whole army forward, running forward. Like if there's something at the back of the board, it's not doing what it does, which is fight.
Yeah, but I think that's cool why they've managed to split your Ard Boy units into 5s. So you've got little 90-point small units, but they actually occupy a fair amount of ground. And they're on 32, so you can spread them out a bit. They can occupy a bit of space. If you get them into terrain, they've got 3 up save, 10 wounds.
That's pretty good.
And and there's 10 attacks. They're 3s and 3s. They're decent enough little units on their own. And then you've got the Weird Fist. So this is one where I don't know if it's really ever worth taking, but it's there if you want it. So you can take a shaman and some brutes, and you get to do brutal power twice instead of once. So
Rubbish. Yeah, I'm
if
not
you
into that.
really like puking, I mean,
some people don't king shame me.
if you're gonna really puke Nado, you could really puke Nado.
You're gonna puke
Your
Nado
guts
now.
all over the place.
Meanwhile, Rob's kid's going to do that soon. He's going to puke Nado all over it. Also, can no one do this? Because I don't want to ever have to say puke Nado live on the stream. I want to be like, yeah, so we're in the puke Nado meta of the game. Oh, God.
He's going to double puke on those lads.
Yeah.
2d3 mortal wounds on everybody within 2d6 plus 6 inches. It's alright. Whatever. Yeah.
And that's all the battalions.
So that's it. That's Ironjawz done.
Okay, well, we've hit 2.5 hours anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, the nightclub downstairs is about to start. What do you?
So do you want to do bone splitters? Maybe I'm not here next week, but maybe the following week.
Yeah, or we could try and fit it in sometime in the next week. And
then we've got the big war.
The big war. So yeah, me and Nathan will come back and do the next part of it.
The other half.
Well, the Ironjawz element so far. How do you feel about it?
Happy.
Yeah, really good. Like, compared to what I explained to you about Free Cities next week, what do you think?
Oh, I'm going to kick Free Cities in the head.
Yeah?
And then chop them up into little pieces.
But do you think it's of equal kind of, like, power?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I think with the points, I think we're going to have to put it on the board and see. I mean, the cities have got so many different build styles and stuff like that. They're a lot more flexible because it's a bigger book. Well, fair enough. They've got more units, so they're going to be more flexible. But I don't know if they're going to still. I think everybody's going to struggle with the speed of the Ironjawz.
Yes, but that's what I mean about the backline units. Like, they're going to go forward really well, but like nothing flies apart from the Maw Crusher, and he's very fast. But it's a big base, so you can't really jump screens, which is why eels are so good. The tiny base, like, and smashing and bashing is great, but if you set up well, the Ironjawz army is.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the interesting thing for me is they've got great ways to clear screens now as well.
Okay, which is important.
And that becomes really scary to your opponent. Is okay, I can't just rely on a screen. You cannot rely on a screen of 10 men for starters.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well, it's been a long time since we've been able to rely on 10 men in the Mortal Realms anyway.
Well, I mean, they're great against something on foot that has to kill them to get to the stuff behind it. So, like a keeper. If there's 10 men in the way, it's got to kill the 10. They have got to kill that 10 men before it can get to the stuff.
Which is why that Thermal Rider Cloak Keeper is just like the thing people take, right? Yeah. For the jump.
But the 10 men will disappear before before the charge phase is finished, and then people will be charging. The rest of the army will charge through that hole.
Yeah, and then also pigs with the mortal wounds and the impact hits. Yeah. Impact hits from the Maw Crusher. It's actually quite a lot.
I forgot to say, if you take there's the other battalion we didn't talk about, the Brute Fist, which is just brutes, but they get the Maw Crusher rule, so they 4-up impact hits.
Oh, that's fine. So, I actually think brutes are the not winners from the book, personally. I've always rooted for Hard Boys ever since you've been playing them a lot.
Yeah, I think brutes have won because they've dropped in points from quite significantly. They are now 140 points, I want to say. Brutes, 140. So they've dropped significantly in points, and I think their points are probably not bad. They are tempting. I'll probably take at least one unit of brutes, possibly two.
Okay. GJ and Mike says Bone Splitters can clear screens, and Handagore can also fly over. So obviously we'll talk about that in the Great War as well. The mixed utility of the different armies could be a big deal. Yeah,
when you combine the two of them, you're right. It's going to be
very scary. Ghostbutton says they have the hitting power and the durability to be real scary as well, which I think is the key. I'm excited to hear about the Bone Splitters side of it, really. Next time we get to talk. Nath, thank you for that. You've led the way and have been a superstar in that one.
Cool. No worries. Thanks.
Yeah, it's exciting. Twitch chat, thanks for being here. You guys have been awesome, and I've really appreciated it. Thanks to Hypnocracken and Our Data for donating some bits, and thank you for everyone for subscribing. Thank you also to everyone who supports us on Patreon. It's all thanks to you that we're able to do what we do. Also, thank you, podcast listeners. And also, the guys who watch on YouTube, you guys are superstars. Leave us some likes and comments below. I'll try and get back to you. You guys are angels. Reflex Dog Training, Hypnocracken, you're a beauty. Ghostman, you're a beauty. The Templar, you're a beauty. Thanks for being in the Twitch chat. Nathan, you got any final shout outs this week?
What?
Wah, wah, wah. My milkshake brings all the boys to the wah. And their green is better than theirs.
Yeah, sure.